Hi guys, I'm Becca Otis from Five Lines Pottery, and I'm located in Van.
And I'm Ryan Durbin from RD Ceramics, located in Highland Heights, Kentucky.
And welcome to Wheel Talk.
All right, we are live. Hello.
Hi.
We have a stand-in co-host today. Been trying this
Hello.
out. Isaac was the first guinea pig. Heidi is the second guinea pig.
Yes. Hi,
I'm sure you
Ryan.
all are very familiar with Heidi at this point.
Thanks for having me back.
Yeah, welcome back. Do
Yeah.
you know how many times it's been? I'm losing
Uh,
count. Do you know?
Four?
I think it's four.
I
I
think
think it
this
is.
is the fourth. Yeah.
I think it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we did a kind of a joint interview twice, and then Isaac was with me, so we did kind of a round table, four of
Oh, right.
us, the
Yeah.
third time, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. So
Isn't it the record?
I think it is. I think it is.
Ooh,
Yeah.
I like
Mm.
records.
You like the records, nice.
Yeah, I do.
Because I was talking with I kind of told Isaac about this, but I was talking with Becca about it because we were like, she's obviously in this transition. She's figuring out that I think she's only been at the job about a month, the new job at Speedball.
Yeah.
So she's still in this transition of figuring things out and like home situation and land and all this stuff. I mean, if anything, the getting up at 5 a.m. every day would be like,
Right.
I don't know if a month would be long enough to adjust to that personally, but whew. But yeah,
Right.
so we're trying it out. And Heisey
Well,
said she
and
was
then
really
she,
excited about it too. So
yeah. Well, and you have to think about this too. Not only has she had to get up at 5 o'clock every day, but then we also had the time change in there.
yeah, we just had time change earlier this
So
week.
I feel like any progress she made was thwarted.
Yeah, I know.
I hate the time change. Sorry.
How does that mess with you? Because I know I couldn't get to sleep the first couple
Yeah,
days.
I can't get to sleep. And then I just feel like I don't know what time it is. Like I keep having to look at like my phone.
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of nice with the extra daylight in the evening with doing stuff around the house or whatever, but the first day that it happened was the Sunday I just had did an art show this past weekend and it was on
Hmm.
that day. So, I mean, it wasn't too bad. I mean, the art show started an hour later than it did on Saturday, so it was a
Oh, that was nice.
11 to 4 instead of 10 to 4 or 10 to 5. So we actually lost we had 2 hours less of a show, which was nice
Right.
on Sunday versus
My
Saturday.
o my only complaint is in the summer, like around the longest day of the year, it will stay light out here until 10:30 at night.
10:30? Oh my gosh.
Yeah, yeah.
Jeez. I was
Because
like,
like
I
for
know that's like a northern thing, but I didn't know
oh
that was like
no.
a Michigan thing.
It is well, because we're right on like the most western edge of the Eastern time zone.
Ooh, okay.
So yeah,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
like if someone wants to have like Fourth of July fireworks, they can't start until like 11 because
Oh
it's just
my
not dark
gosh.
enough. Yeah,
That is late.
yeah.
Boy, at least I was looking at the calendar because 4th of July falls on a Friday this year.
Oh, it
So I'm
does.
thinking about maybe doing a soda fire workshop over that weekend. Well,
Oh,
for one, I
nice.
was like, do I want to offer that on that weekend? Like, do people have plans? I don't know. I'm like, people that work, quote unquote, like regular jobs or whatever, like they get off that day for the holidays. So I'm like,
Right.
maybe that would be good to do it that weekend.
Yeah. I mean, might as well try, right?
Yeah. I'm looking at like summer times of my next ones, and I'm like, because I've been kind of balancing. Okay, I didn't get into a couple shows, and I'm like, do I want to do it over those weekends that I don't have those
Oh,
shows, or do I want to just focus on actually making my stuff because I tend to overload my schedule anyways.
that makes sense.
So,
Do you want to hear something crazy?
yeah, what's up?
I applied to an art fair.
You did?
The
What
look
fair?
on your face. The Ann Arbor Art Fair.
Oh, sweet. Have you done that
Yeah.
one before?
Yes. Been 6 years.
6 years since you've done it?
Yeah.
That's a
Yeah.
really big one.
Yeah. Well, my thought was if I was gonna do one, I might as well. get
So
more
go all
bang for my
out.
buck, right?
Well, how far is that from you?
Uh, like about 2 hours,
Okay.
hour
Yeah,
and
that's not too bad.
45. No, it's not too bad.
Yeah, still in the state. 2 hours is totally manageable. I feel like
And
that's a
it's
good
only,
radius for me with
yeah,
shows. If I don't have to go more than 2 hours away, pretty
yeah.
happy.
And it used to be 4 days, but now it's three.
Ooh. Well, four, I
Yeah.
guess, if you include the setup day. But if
No,
you
it
set
was
up,
4 selling days.
well, yeah, that's what I meant.
Oh, okay.
It's
Yeah. It was
instead of
40.
yeah,
Yeah. It was
instead of
40 hours of selling in 4 days.
oh my gosh,
It used to
when did they
wear
trim
me
it?
out after COVID.
Okay, did they just see an opportunity to trim it a little? Because I'm sure they get feedback from artists that are like,
Yeah. I kept like,
is it worth it? Is
in
it
my
not worth
survey,
it?
I kept saying, like, make it 3 days.
Yeah, because usually
Yeah.
you can't have too much leeway on cutting it a full day, but you
Right.
might be able to have a little leeway on, hey, why don't we start a little later on this one day, or start end it a little
Right.
sooner on this day, or whatever.
Right. Yeah.
Is that like a t traditional like 10 to 5 kind of day, or it doesn't have like extended hours like some of those shows do?
It
Or
does. It's
oh, it
like 10 to
does?
9.
10 9 p.m.
It's still light out, remember? It's Michigan.
Oh my God. Well, I don't know what time of year it is, but is it right in the
Oh, it's
middle of
in
the summer?
July. Sorry. It's in July. It's still light out.
Oh my gosh. I don't care if it's still light out. Are people sticking around? Like when you did it, were you selling anything from like 7 p.m. to 9 p.m.?
Not a lot. Should it go until 9? No. No.
I guess typically they do those kind of hours on Fridays, I guess, if they do so people can come after work, but Saturday and not Sunday, I guess, right?
It's Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
Oh, they don't even do it Sunday.
Mm-mm.
Okay.
Because
How
it
do you
used
like
to be
that?
Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
Oh my gosh. So they've never had Sunday, or at least not
No.
semi recently. Do you like
Mm.
that versus a Friday, Saturday, Sunday?
I mean, it's nice because then you get Sunday off.
Yeah.
So,
Kind
but
of get a day to yourself.
it's
Yeah,
so funny.
getting
Yes.
back on a Sunday after a show, that is pretty tiring.
Yeah. It's funny talking to you about this right now. I'm like, do I really want to do this?
Well, I mean, you already signed up. There's got to be a reason you signed up,
Well,
right?
no, no, no. I applied. I haven't given them my booth fee yet.
All right, okay. But you
Okay.
made the first step.
Yes, I made the first step. Yeah.
Okay. Did
Yeah.
you have to dig up some old booth photos and stuff, or did
That's
you
really
have some?
funny.
Did
That's
you have
really
to
funny.
stop? Did you have to like stage it?
No. And then I was like, well, maybe I just used my booth photo from 2019.
Okay.
And I was just like, screw it. Like, if they accept it, they do. And if they don't, they don't. Because I was like, I don't have the motivation to make a whole new booth for one
Mm-hmm.
show. Like, I'm gonna have to make a booth if I do the show, but to like make the booth for one photo for because I only planned on applying to that show. I was just like, no,
Is the work drastically different from 2019, or
yes.
is it okay? So it's gonna be a little
I mean, I
stretch.
wait, no, I already got in. I got accepted.
Oh, you did get accepted.
Yeah,
Oh,
sorry,
I
I
thought you
did.
meant you applied, but you
I
hadn't
did.
heard back yet.
No, I heard back. Yes.
Oh, well, you got accepted. That's great.
Yeah. Yeah. But I just have to decide if I'm going to actually do it.
Because that's an expensive show, right?
It is. Yeah. The booth fee 750.
Woo,
Yeah.
man. Sometimes when I share those show recaps
Oh
and
yeah.
share how much the booth fee is, some
Hmm.
people that see it, like people that don't know shows, they see it and they say $300 for a booth fee. That's robbery. And then you're like, I mean, that's kind of like a standard if you're
Yeah.
used to it for like quality booth shows or quality shows
Right.
or reasonably quality shows, and then they go up from there. So I don't know
Yeah.
if that was a peer or if that was just a customer that doesn't realize how much it actually costs to do shows like that.
Right. Well, and I think too, like if you're used to doing just markets and then you jump to art fairs, there's a big
And you're talking
difference.
like 50 to 75 bucks for the day
Yeah.
versus 300 bucks for a weekend or
Yeah.
500 bucks for a weekend or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah. So,
Yeah. Well,
yeah.
congrats. I
Well,
hope you
thank
do
you.
it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's one show. I mean,
Sure, it's one show.
one show, two
Yeah,
hours away.
suck it up for one
You
show.
got 3 months to make it happen. What are you reluctant about? More than 3 months, huh?
Yeah, 4 months. The what I am that's a great question because the weather.
The weather.
The
Is it
weather
really
in
windy
Michigan.
there or
Yeah, it's like it's either beautiful or like 100 degrees or there's severe storms.
man, those July shows are brutal.
They are. And it's like, okay. Because there's times I've done that show and it's been great. There's times I've like done that show and almost gotten heat stroke. There's times I've done it and they had to like close it down because one
Woo.
time lightning hit a electrical wire and it like fell on a car and the car caught on fire.
Oh my
Like it's
gosh.
just insane.
Ooh, you don't know what you're gonna get.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why
No.
they decided, hey, maybe we shorten this a day so we can
Right.
lower the possibility of stuff like that
Right.
happening.
Right.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
The July show that I do, yeah, it's the Berea Craft Festival. That one is a 3 day, but that one's a Friday, Saturday, Sunday. But typically
Oh.
you can pretty much expect it's gonna rain at least one of those days
Oh.
pretty good. So that's kind of what I expect. But it's under a canopy of trees. It's in like a
Oh,
forest
that's
area.
nice.
So it's pretty shady, but I mean the ground is also it's grass and all that. So it gets kind of
Right.
nasty and puddly and stuff. So but they have like
Right.
straw, but it's kind of
Yeah.
you do what you can
Right.
and
And that's
chance
just
it.
doing
You can't
shows,
control the
right?
weather. I mean, a lot of people still show up. I mean, it's that one weekend and kind of a smaller town. There's not a ton going on in Berea, Kentucky, kind of in
Right.
the mountains, but the weather can change pretty quickly because it is in the mountains. So,
When I was a kid, my mom used to take me there.
oh, really? To Berea,
Mm.
Kentucky?
Yeah, because isn't there a craft school there
There's a
or
college there.
college? The
Yeah,
college,
Berea
yeah,
College.
yeah,
Yeah, they do a lot of craft. Yeah,
yeah,
broom making and ceramics is big there
yeah.
at the college.
My mom is still alive. So what I was gonna say, she was really into it. She's still, but like she has more trouble getting around now, but she was really into crafts.
Okay,
So yeah.
nice.
So I've
Well, what
been
else is
there.
going on this week?
Uh,
You're still
it's
recovering. You're
it's
you're kind of
Thursday.
figuring things out. Yeah,
Yeah, I'm tired. Yeah.
yeah.
So usually when you have surgery, they give you, like this might be too much information, but they usually give you opioids, but they're really trying to like get people away from that because of the opioid epidemic.
Mm-hmm.
And so they gave me a few, but they really like strongly suggested taking Tylenol and Motrin. And so I did. I didn't end up taking any opioids, but this is like the first surgery I've ever had where I didn't take opioids. And now I'm like, oh my gosh, opioids make me like super energetic because now that I'm not on them recovering, I'm so tired and like I'm sleeping so much more.
Oh.
So
Okay,
like,
which is probably what your body wants, right? It
yeah,
wants you to sleep,
yeah,
not
yeah.
okay.
Not think you're Superwoman. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So
Wow.
yeah.
So it's taking a little longer to recover, but
No,
the
I think it's probably taking the same amount of time. I just thought before, like it just like made me have you ever taken steroids?
yeah, I think so. Probably for um I mean for like poison ivy and stuff like
Poison
that. That's
ivy,
got
yeah, yeah,
steroids, yeah.
yeah.
I've done like
So
that. I don't think I've had maybe I have. When would they provide you steroids normally?
like poison ivy, or I think that's the only time I've had them is when I've had poison ivy.
Okay. I just say, do
The
they do
one
it when you're like sick though for something?
I think so, like if you have pneumonia, maybe.
Okay. Yeah, I haven't had it for that, but like the
Right,
salve and stuff for the
right.
poison ivy, I have had it, but I don't know that there was enough to notice a difference.
Oh, really? Well, maybe I'm just really sensitive to medicine too, because I remember I got poison ivy really bad in 2021. I remember this because the Olympics were canceled, the Summer Olympics in 2020, right? Because of COVID.
Mm-hmm.
So they had him in 2021, and I was on steroids, and I was running around the studio telling Bobby I was going to compete in the Olympics, and he was like, "Oh my God!"
Get that
But that's like,
steroid confidence, Heidi.
yeah, but that's how much energy it gave me. But then the flip side was like when you start to taper down, like I crashed so hard.
Did you start snapping at people?
Oh yeah, man, I had
Oh, were
definite
you
roid
really?
rage. Yeah, yeah,
Oh my gosh.
yeah,
Maybe it seems like you would probably be somebody that's pretty in tune with like your routine and what's like your standard, your like normal. And if
yeah,
anything strays outside of that, you can notice it more.
yeah, yeah.
So the steroids, you were like, okay, like if anything's different, I'm gonna like take note. All
Right.
right, how did this make me
Because
feel last time? Well, you know.
yeah, because they gave me I got poison ivy again like a couple years later, and they were like, "Oh, here's steroids," and I wouldn't take them. I told
Oh,
them I was
really?
like, "I will meditate through this," and they were like, "What?" And I was like, "I'm not taking those." And that's seriously what I did. Like when I got really itchy and wanted to like scratch, I was like, just do some breathing exercise.
Oh yeah, that's not a bad idea.
It worked.
Shift your focus a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. We usually get that. We get those. You get those like massive, like squeeze like toothpaste bottles of the salve or whatever from the for the
Oh, like
poison
the
ivy, and
calamine
we just
lotion?
well, it's like it's got the steroids in it, but
Oh, I know
it's
what
the
you're talking
prescription.
about. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
So we just hold on to that because I guess they don't have a smaller prescription apparently that's like you know half an ounce.
Oh, okay.
You get like a 4 ounce bottle like a toothpaste of this
Right.
stuff as if you're gonna cover your entire body with it or something.
Right.
And you just hold
Oh,
on
so
to
they
it.
don't give you oral steroids? They just give you
I've
topical?
always I got the cream, the stuff you rub
Oh.
on the actual poison ivy.
Okay, so I had oral steroids, not the topical. So
Yeah.
maybe
I don't
that's
know.
why I reacted so differently.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, it's probably in
Yeah.
your system a little differently than
Right.
than the than the
Right.
topical one.
Right. So
Cool.
anyway, there's our segment on health.
There you go. Opioids and
Health with
steroids.
Heidi. That's the name.
What is it? Health with Heidi?
Yeah.
Okay. They can let us know their little feedback about that.
Right.
They get some health with Becca in the past. You don't know what's gonna come up there. She's
Right.
doing stuff. She's giving cat health things to Lloyd and Dottie. I don't know what's going on.
That's funny. Oh,
Okay.
yeah.
All right. I'm trying to think anything else is new going on. Not really. I've just been trying to get I did that show this weekend and I've been trying to like restock some forms, so I've been
Oh,
trying to
when's your
get back
next
into
show?
making some things. I don't have anything until May, the beginning of
Oh,
May. So
okay.
I got a couple about a month and a half.
Do you take pots with you to Nsika?
I'll take a few. I was actually
Me
talking
too.
to a couple people about it. I was like, what do I take? Because I think I might take a few soda pots with me.
Oh, that'd be nice.
Yeah, something compact enough, and it's not. I don't know. It's kind of like I'm kind of like iffy about it because I'm like I don't want to take like the basic pots, but I don't want to take the fancier ones, and then they like the carved ones, and they don't sell or something. But I
Right.
don't know. I just don't want to take a ton of things because I don't know what I'm gonna bring back,
Oh, that's
and
true.
it's not drivable being in Utah,
Right.
so we got to figure out, what we're gonna do for
Right.
getting there and get back. I mean, Rachel is going with me too, so but
Oh, she is.
I'm sure she's gonna buy some stuff and
Right.
have to. She's. I think she says she's got an extra bag that she's actually gonna pack and or take with her, so if she needs to check it, she can check it
Oh, that's cute.
because
Is
she'll do shopping. I don't know how good the vintage shopping and all that stuff is in Salt Lake City, Utah, but
oh yeah, that's right. Yeah.
guess we'll find out.
Is Erica going?
Mm-hmm. Yep,
Oh,
she'll be there.
nice.
Yeah, she's been excited about it. She's been helping with the demos and stuff the last couple of years. She's like, my name's even on the Speedball
The
banner that they
banner.
have with a
Yeah.
list of all the artists and everything, and her name's on there and in the scheduled agenda and stuff.
Oh, that's exciting.
Yeah, we saw
That's
him at
exciting.
ClayCon West, and we are talking with them because they're going to keep our Wheel Talk stickers on the pink bats for the
Hmm.
rest of 2025. And we were talking about doing like a bat signing, kind of like a book
Oh, I
signing
like
that
that.
we're gonna sign. So I think we'll probably sign. It'd be nice if Becca and I, because Becca's gonna be there at the booth doing demos and stuff as like one of the featured artists, and then
Right.
I'll be there for some demos too. But it'd be kind of nice to like sign the sticker because they give out a ton of those bats the whole
Yeah.
conference, so
That's cool.
it'll be fun to do.
I like that idea. That'd
Yeah,
be
it'll feel
nice.
like official. I don't know.
Yeah. It's like you're signing a record
Yeah, because we
as the
didn't
bat.
have I think they had a few samples last year at NCCA, but they didn't actually have the stickers done, so we didn't actually see them on the bats yet.
Oh.
But I think they had like three bats out there at
Hmm.
NCCA. It was kind of the timing. I think they announced them right. I mean, they had a few samples, but they didn't like officially announce the colors until the summer
Oh, that's right.
or
Yeah, I
the
remember that.
spring or something. So
Hmm.
it was kind of like a first peek, and then we were kind of looking at graphics and stuff at NCCA. So that'll be cool.
It's really cool. That's
Yeah.
so exciting. I'm so happy for you and Becca.
Thank you. Yeah, it's been fun.
Yeah.
It's been a nice partnership. I mean, we already had a good partnership regardless, but having a little extra and they're like, "Hey, we'd like to, keep your," because they were initially talking about swapping some of the branding out every year
Oh,
and having different artists and promoting different artists, but they were like, "Hey, like y'all have been good to work with. I don't know if them sponsoring the podcast is part of it, but it makes sense to for
right.
them to have us back. So, we're happy
Well, that's
to
good.
be back.
Nice.
Keep our branding on there a little bit longer."
Right, yeah.
Yeah. So, let's see. Do you want to do a listener question or maker of the moment?
Let's do the maker of the moment. Oh, we each list one, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So, do you have yours handy? Oh man, I
Yes.
need to do the Instagram part of it, don't I? Becca's normally the one doing this.
What's the Instagram part?
So I'll actually call them out on Wheel Talk,
Oh,
and then we
like
will
right
put
now?
them. Well, yeah, we'll put them in our stories. Maker of the
Hmm.
moment. It's a little delayed because we're due it now. Because otherwise, if I set a reminder, we wouldn't do it
Right.
when it actually comes out.
Well, that's
So,
okay.
yeah, we call them out now, follow them, whatever, and then we'll put it in a highlight in their account. So if people want to like scroll through and see, they can find them.
Okay. Cool. You ready? Do you want
Yeah,
me to go first or you want to go first?
yeah, you can go first.
Okay. So I am highlighting Julia, and she's in Germany, and her handle is Ugly Duck Pottery. And she makes the coolest bathtub, not bathtub, swimming pool
They
soap
kind of do look
dishes.
like bathtubs, though.
Yeah, they do. But they're swimming
I
pools,
mean, they'd be a fancy ass bathtub, though.
right?
That'd be pretty nice.
They're swimming pool soap dishes. They're really cool.
Yeah.
And I like swimming pools a lot. So when I don't even remember how I found her. I didn't find her just for this. I've been following her a while,
Hmm.
but they're super cute. Like some of them have diving boards, some of them have like unicorn floaties in them, some of them have round floaties. There's like in-ground pools, above ground pools. They're just so cute. They're really cute.
Yeah, and so we had to really scour. Actually, you had to reach out to her to find out what her name was because she doesn't
Yes.
publicly put her name, and she said, "Just go by this because I have a day job and I don't want people to know." So
Yes. Yes. So I cleared this with her beforehand.
be like, "Can we shout you out because you
Yeah,
might not want the notice?"
right. Right. I was like, I
Yeah,
want to give
there's
you credit, but I want to do it in a way you're comfortable with. So,
right.
yeah,
Yeah, those are super cute. They're
they
all
are.
like
And
a glossy celadonish, turquoise-ish glaze
hmm
inside. They've
like
even
it
got
really,
little like step stools or little
yes, they're so
steps.
cute. Little ladders. And like
Yeah.
some of them are tiled and some like look like they're tiled and some of them aren't. It's just really
Uh-huh.
cute. I think they're adorable.
Get little accents to them. Yeah, they're super cute.
Hmm Lots of attention to detail. And she sells them on Etsy and there's free shipping. I don't know how
Oh,
she's
really?
shipping them from yeah
From
free from
Germany?
Germany, but I'm like, wow, that's
That's
cool.
great.
Yeah.
All right, so Julia from Germany, and
Hmm.
mine is Carter's Clay.
Oh, Curtis Clay. I want to look it up.
Carter's Clay. So he's an MF, he did an MFA at Utah State University, but it looks like he's at, is it Weber State University or Weber State?
Oh yeah.
Studio manager?
Where I don't I don't know where that is.
I don't know
I
where
guess I
that
could
is
Google
either.
it. I could Google it.
Looks like he had a show at South Bend, Indiana.
It's in Utah, in Ogden, Utah.
Is it?
Which,
Okay.
yeah, which is near Salt Lake City.
Okay.
Oh, these are
Yeah,
nice.
I don't know how I stumbled upon his stuff, but for those that aren't aware of what his work is, not a big surprise to most out there from my past makers of the moment. He does soda fired work.
Yeah, but
You can
these
tell
are
I'm a
nice.
little into soda firing right now,
Right.
so very appropriate. Yeah,
That
super cool.
teapot is really cool.
The one that's sitting on the wooden tray
I don't know what.
or a
Oh, what's
different
the
one?
wooden tray one?
Oh, you're talking about the
The
white
first,
background
like,
one?
no, I'm talking about the one.
Oh,
It's the second photo in
I'm
his
scrolling down
feed.
pretty far.
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah, that one's sweet. He's got it's kind of like a side handle. I wonder if that's
Mm-hmm.
is there a specific name for those kind of
I, I don't know if this is what they're called, but I was always taught that they're called lug handles.
a
That
lug
could be
handle.
wrong,
Hmm.
but that's what I was taught. These are nice.
Yeah. So Carter's clay, his name is Carter Pasma. Sounds like he's in Utah. And yeah, he's got some great surfaces. It looks like it's probably a lot of slip, I would guess.
Mm,
Probably some flashing
mm-hmm.
slips. I
Yeah,
think
because like some of them
cone
look like they
cone
might
10.
have copper on them. They have copper, or maybe it's just a photograph. I
Yeah, it
don't
looks
know.
sweet.
They're really cool.
Some great surfaces. All right, so I'm adding him to
Oh, those
maker of
plates
the
are really
moment.
nice.
Maker of the moment.
What are those? I can't remember what they're called. Like on the plates that he has where there's the trail. Is it like the wadding trail?
Yeah, I would suspect he probably stacks them and he has wadding
Oh,
between them, and then you get the
okay.
flames to kind of move
Okay.
around the wadding, and it will kind of leave the remnants of where the
Those are
wads
cool.
were. And I actually
Maybe.
found out uh, some wadding recipes, you can actually mix certain ingredients in them and it'll leave a different color on there. Instead of white, a lot of wadding will leave just a white
Oh,
mark or whatever the clay body
yeah.
is, and it just resists whatever. But you can
Yeah.
actually mix some other things in there. Like I think the recipe that I saw had fire clay in it, maybe, or some other
Oh,
grog in it, and
that's
it's
cool.
like a red color, maybe. I think it might have been like red brick grog or something like that, and
Do you
it'll
do that?
leave colors on the clay where the
I
wads
didn't
were instead of just whatever the clay body is.
I didn't know that was possible. That's really cool. Do you do that in your workshop?
I don't have colors like that in my wadding. I just use a kind of I guess a pretty standard wadding. It's let's see, what is it? Alumina, EPK, and I actually use flour, like baking flour.
Oh, really?
You could also use sand. Some people use sand in there.
Oh,
Some sands actually have a little bit of a flux in them though, so it could like stick.
yeah.
I don't know.
I have a
I've put sand on a shelf to like buffer for a plate, and it leaves little remnants on the bottom.
I have a wood-fired platter from like 20 years ago that I made, and it still has the wadding on it.
Oh, was it kind of like that where it?
Yeah. And it
Okay.
was like, I either keep the wads on or the platter is going to be destroyed. I soaked it. I soaked it for a week and they still wouldn't come
Wow.
up.
Plus,
Yeah,
like I wouldn't want to have to like clean up somebody else's pot. I don't know why I'm willing to like clean up my pot, but if I like start to clean up somebody else's after I got it, I'm like, I don't know if I want to do this.
yeah,
But for one, I'm like, I kind of wish they would have cleaned it, even if it's just like a little sharp bit. I'm like, I wish they would have just sanded this a little bit, but there's a
right,
reason I can't just do a little bit of sanding.
right.
Okay, so maker of the moment. There we go.
There we go.
Carter's clay and ugly duck pottery.
Hmm.
Sweet. All right. And then you want to do a little listener question action?
Yes, yes.
All right, so this was kind of a fun one. I sent a few to Heidi to see which one sparked her interest. And
I would answer them all, but
there
we
were some
just have
yeah,
time constraints.
there's some funny ones in there because
Yeah,
some of these we get and we kind of let them sit. And it's like, I don't like how do we answer that? Do we want to answer that? I don't know. But
right.
okay, so this one is from Tulip Tree Tales on Instagram. And it reads, how do people learn all of this stuff without going brain dead? Ha ha, JK. But not really.
I assumed that they meant the business portion.
Well,
Did you
I mean you could
did you
take it
take it
different
that way?
ways. I was I was kind of thinking technique. They're overwhelmed with all the techniques and the
Oh,
teaching and all of that. Besides, I mean, you could take it multiple ways. It's not specific. So,
right.
but you took it business wise.
Yeah.
I mean, you could, yeah. I mean, honestly, there's probably way more. I mean, there's endless things you can do in the techniques and
I guess
process.
we need clarification.
I don't think we need I mean, just take it
No,
however.
right?
If so how would you answer? It sounds like you were thinking it was business related.
Well, business related or like just parts of the process you don't enjoy as much, right? Because they use the term brain dead, so that leads me to believe it's something they, right, they don't enjoy as much.
Yeah.
Um,
Tulip tree tales.
what I'm gonna
Lily
say, I think,
Vinson's.
oh, did you?
Lily Vinson's. I think
I
it's
looked at the at her profile yesterday.
yeah. Whew.
Those bugs are cute. I think are those cockroaches? No, lightning bugs. Okay, good.
You're like cockroaches? I don't know about that.
Right. Like, oh. Um,
I
so
think
I
for me
think
it's like you're gonna get overwhelmed and being okay that you're always gonna continue learning. I mean, this could apply to anything, but for the specifically the business side of it, I think like as long as you're moving in the right direction and when you learn things, you figure out like, okay, I didn't know that in the past. It's not gonna like, I'm not in trouble necessarily unless I'm like doing something drastically bad, but as long as you realize that when you learn them, you make steps to improve them for the future and you just build on itself and just like kind of like the um like how to pay your sales tax properly or like
right,
some of that stuff is it's intricate. It's like, okay, I didn't know that I needed to pay to this certain county at this certain frequency,
right,
or how do I even get a sales tax ID, or do I need a sales tax ID? All that kind of stuff. Like, there's so many things you need to figure out,
right,
and there's not like a go-to person to ask. Like, all right, what do I need? I'm a small business owner now. Where's that
right.
handbook?
Yeah. No, I think you're right. I think it's just you just have to like take it like bite by bite, right? Just try and make progress. I think when you try and like learn too many things at once, that's when the brain dead part,
Hmm.
you know?
And depends on what kind of learner you are. If you're a note
Right,
taker and all that, some things like I documented how I file my sales tax every like I keep it in one spot keep it on my
Yeah.
budget sheet or whatever, and I have it in one spot. Here's how I do the math to figure out my, I think it's gross sales, and I get confused on the right terms here too, of like net or gross or whatever. So it's like, you got to figure out the math of what number do you need to give them. You need to give them the number before tax has been included or whatever they specify, and then you've got to do
Right.
the math yourself to figure out, okay, what is the tax liability for that? And
Right.
I just go to that spot whenever I need to do my sales tax, and I know that I'm like doing it properly every time. So,
Right.
like, sure, I could kind of remember that, but do I want to remember it, or would I rather just know
Right.
the place that I need to go to figure out the
Right.
right way to do it?
I agree. I have a notebook or a binder. I have a binder in the studio, and like one of the pages is accounting, and it's just like how to file all the different taxes throughout the year.
Hmm. And I keep a, I don't know, have you done your taxes yet for the year?
I sure have.
Sure have. Nice. That's good. I have not.
I actually paid a professional this year.
Oh, really? That's
Yeah.
another way you can not get overwhelmed is to offload that to somebody else that does this professionally, and
Right.
then you can hopefully lessen a little bit of that worry and stress.
Right.
It doesn't hurt to, I think you should still get an idea. Like I'm very open to asking the CPA a lot of questions to be like, what if I
Yeah.
do this, or how does this work, or can I do that? Like, how does the studio deduction, or mileage, or fire? Can I deduct the firing cost, the electricity cost? And they're like, oh, well, because you did the home studio deduction, like it doesn't overlap, or they
Oh,
can you
right.
do both or whatever. Like some of those things, I mean, a lot of times you just got to be curious to ask the questions of the
Right.
professionals that know the answers. But yeah, I keep a file on my. I'm a big Apple Notes taker, so Apple Notes, I've got tons of notes, and I just keep one for my business and says like tax, um, whatever, tax time or whatever, and I just got the list of all the different forms that I need when tax time comes, and it's very lengthy of the 1099s and the
Right.
1095s and the investment forms and the retirement accounts and all those different files that you're going to randomly start getting in January and February,
Yeah.
and making sure that you are not forgetting something.
Right.
So I just keep a file of that to make sure that I'm not forgetting stuff. And I just look back at what I did the previous year. I mean, a lot of times I'm
Right.
just looking back at what I did before and okay, did I include this one, that one, that one, that one? And you just got to know where to go find those.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, it's very overwhelming.
And I think like people, there's like two things in like pottery, not life, but that people are like scared about the most. It's like taxes and making glaze. Taxes, you don't want to like screw up because you could potentially pay a lot of money. And glaze, you don't want to screw up, right? Because you don't want to poison people,
Yeah. And you don't want
basically,
to mix
right?
a 5 gallon bucket of glaze and it's wrong.
Right.
I've done that.
Yeah. So have I.
And you just take the loss and you're just like, all right, well, what can I do for the future to make sure that doesn't happen? Double check my
Right.
numbers, make sure I'm only looking at, one recipe at a time, make sure I'm not confused with other recipes on the table. Maybe don't use a dry erase board. Use like something that's written so you're not potentially like messing something up on the dry erase
That's
board.
that's
Like, I don't know.
that's a good tip.
I mean, a lot of times I just have because we have people come for the soda workshop and they're like, "Do you have that recipe for that glaze?" And a lot of times it's literally just a piece of paper with handwritten bone glaze, 10,000 grams, this ingredient, this number of grams, this ingredient, this number. Like it's all handwritten. I mean, I do have some that are printed off, but a lot of times it's just going back to that same exact sheet. I don't have to look it up. I don't have to
Oh
worry about
yeah.
like a typo or you just put it back in the
Mine's in the
same spot.
binder. It's called the Big Book of Everything. So it's like got the taxes in
Ooh.
it. It's got how to make glaze, how to make casting slip, how to fire the. Basically, since I'm not in the studio, like I just handed that to Bobby and was like, "Here you go."
Mm-hmm. So, so you've documented stuff like how to measure the specific gravity, and
Yeah,
so that you could teach somebody else, or Bobby can do
yeah,
it, or if he has questions of, okay, like if he isn't sure, he doesn't have to ask you because the binder's got everything.
yeah, yeah. And I started that when I had interns, and it was just kind of easy. I mean, I would teach them, but then like I'm not trying to sound like a jerk, but I can't always be interrupted with questions, right? So it's like I'll teach you how to do this, but then like you can reference back to the written
Right.
instructions, you
Right.
know?
Oh yeah. Context switching sucks.
Yeah,
Really kills your flow.
it does. Yeah,
And it's hard to explain that. I have to tell Rachel that. I have to be like, I've had to tell her over the years, but it's like, hey, if I'm working down here and you come down here
right.
to just tell me something, like, if it doesn't need to be talked about right now, don't come down and talk to me about it. I get it, you're home and it's convenient, but like, even if I like come upstairs, like, it seems like I'm like not, I'm not like coming up there like brain dead, like not
Right.
thinking of anything and anything can be talked about, but I'm like, maybe I'm like mulling over something in my head of what I was working on, kind of thinking through, okay, what do I want to do? And then I'm, making a cup of tea or whatever. And then I go back and I'm like, okay, didn't break that thought. And then if I gotta shift to something else, it's not
Right.
a quick, it's not a quick like, okay, 2 minutes off and then you're like right back where you were. I don't remember
Uh,
those studies, but there's some studies about like context switching and it takes like 15 minutes to get back to where you left off or something.
Oh, it's totally true. I've been reading this book called Quiet. What is it called? Quiet. Something about being an introvert when the world won't stop talking. And it talks about like open floor plans and like offices and how like everyone thinks that's so great, but actually it's not because you're so distracted that it's really hard to do your work.
Yeah, you could be looking at a screen, but if there's something in your peripheral vision that's
Right.
right there, all
Yes.
it takes is somebody walking across the pathway and you're distracted.
Yeah. It was saying like it's better to have cubicles and then like a common area where you can go and talk to other people, but like people need their own space to think.
Hmm.
So,
It's kind of like, are you facing your computer or your desk or whatever at a wall, or are you facing it with space behind it, or you know?
right. Yeah. So the cat just walked behind you and opened the door?
Yeah, that
That
was
was
Autumn.
really cute. It
She's like, I want to get in there.
was really cute.
She does it all the time. That was
It was
Autumn.
so cute.
I have a question for you, and I have a
Oh
feeling I know
yeah.
what the answer is, but do you sleep with do not disturb on or sleep mode on your phone?
This drives Joe insane. I don't even bring my phone into the bedroom.
Oh, that's even better.
Yeah.
That's even better.
Yeah. He's like, what if something happens? And I was like, I guess I'll find out in the morning. What?
Or I'll go get the phone or whatever.
Right. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Whew. Oh, I use sleep mode. I don't understand. Or I think Rachel doesn't, and I didn't understand. I was like even just a buzz. I'm like, you're telling me you're not distracted. You're trying to fall asleep, and you hear a buzz. You're telling me you're not distracted at all. And if you
Right.
say no, I don't believe you because
Right.
unless you're just a deep sleeper, I guess. But like any little
Right.
buzz, I'm like, that's got to be distracting, even in the split second, right?
I don't I don't have the sound on. Like, you know how some people have the sound on so when they type it's like click, 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 click,
Oh
click.
yeah, I never have my
Nope.
sound on.
Nope. It's always on silent. My phone's always on silent. I don't even have notifications on. The
Oh, that's
only
pretty good.
Yeah, the only notification I get is text messages or phone calls, but I don't think you can turn that off. Maybe there's a way.
You're like,
Maybe I
can
need
I
to figure
turn
that out.
off no
Like,
phone calls unless
right.
I'm
So,
actively on my phone?
yeah. So just phone calls and text messages.
Okay, that's pretty good actually. I
Yeah.
think that's a
But
smart. I mean, I don't know. Do you think a lot of people go through and actually filter what notifications they have turned on and off? Because I suspect most people don't do that.
I don't know, but like I see other people's phones buzzing and I'm like, how do you get anything done? Oh, it's
Yeah.
just like how do you quiet your mind to like think about problems? Like, you
Because we're
know?
very reactive humans. Like something
Yeah,
buzzes, you're grabbing it, you know?
right. Right.
That's why during work I have to turn on work mode. And even then, if it's within arm's reach and I get something done, I grab my phone. Even if it's
Yeah.
for like 3 minutes. It's like I'm fucking addicted to this thing, you know?
Yeah.
I gotta put it outside my reach. Or some of the simplest things is put it on do not disturb and flip the phone upside down so you can't see the screen.
I do that.
Or, put it, I mean, if you could put it somewhere else. I mean, the thing that sucks with the day job is I have to use it for two-factor authentication a lot. and I have to
Oh,
use an
right.
authentication app. So I have to have my phone handy so that I can authenticate myself
Yeah.
when I log into different systems and stuff. So it kind of sucks. We used to have this sort of like fob thing. I don't know if you've seen these before, but you
No.
basically plug it into your device and it's a it's got two little metal things on each side of it, and
Uh-huh.
your fingers touching it creates a circuit and it like generates a unique key. So
Wow.
some interfaces when you log into it, it's got your username, your password, and then it's got like the it's called a U this is called a UV key, but um you have it plugged into your device and you go to that third field and it's your unique key, and you literally just have it plugged into your computer and then you just push both sides of it and that gives a unique identifier that authenticates you.
That's cool.
And it doesn't require you to like pick up your phone and do all that stuff.
Right.
So
No, I've never seen that before.
I really like that, but they got rid of that. So
Oh, that sucks.
unfortunately,
Yeah,
I
you know,
really
and
liked it for that.
I'm not judging people that have notifications turned on or that, but in this book that I was reading, it was talking about like how people are either, and I don't know if this was the phrase she used, but like they're highly reactive, or I don't know if she said high reactivity and low reactivity. And so like typically introverts are more high reactive, just meaning they get like stimulated easier by a stimulus, and
Hmm.
extroverts typically don't. And so like for me, I have to turn all that stuff off. I would get so overstimulated by the end of the day if I didn't have all that stuff turned off.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know about you, but if there's some days where I'm constantly on my phone a lot, I just get drugged down from just the
Yeah.
stimulus, and I'm
Yeah.
just like tired from it.
Yeah.
And then you also have the guilt that builds in because you know that you weren't as productive as you could have been, and
Right.
uh
Because I totally, I will check my email, like I'll check it, put my phone down, check it again. I'm like, what are you doing? You just
yeah, what
checked
do
it
you
like
and
2 seconds
also even
ago.
I don't do you reply to those emails pretty quickly
Oh,
if you
that's not what I'm doing. I'm looking to see if I sold something because I'm addicted to
oh
that sale email, right?
and
Like you,
you didn't have your noise turned on and you don't have your notifications
yeah.
turned on so you don't get that cha-ching sound.
So I got to check my email for that boost.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of times I'll just go to my email well, I do see if there's something new, but also a lot of times I will filter it. So I'm trying to like mark the things that are red as things that I don't
Mm.
really need to see.
Hmm.
Not necessarily things that I can unsubscribe from, but if it's just like, you get all those whatever emails.
Right.
And then the ones that I do need to reply to, I just leave it unread, and then my unread box gets big, and cleaning that out takes
Right.
time,
Yeah.
and it's exhausting.
It is.
Yeah.
So little by little, that's how you don't go brain dead.
Yeah, little by little.
Yeah.
And then hopefully if you can lean on other people to learn some of this stuff from, or at
Right.
least, hey, have you done anything with writing wholesale line sheets or whatever?
Right.
I mean, some of this you hope that you stumble upon people that know this kind of stuff and you say, "Hey, can you like share your line sheet, what it looks like?" I don't it feels like too much work to like look at a blank page and say, "All
Right.
right, I'm going to make a line sheet now." Or like, "Oh, I need to write a contract," or "Should I have a contract? Do people do contracts?" I don't know.
Right.
It's exhausting.
There's a lot. There's a lot.
All right, tulip tree, Lily, hopefully that was helpful. Don't get too stressed out about it.
Yeah.
You'll do better little by little, year over year. And then you find systems that work and systems that are just, okay, this is
Yeah, they
not really my
change.
personality, or you discover some new technology or some new system that people are like a lot of times figuring out when to like, okay, that's worth my time to explore. That's not worth my time to explore.
Right.
I'm
Yeah.
already focused on these other things. These are
Yeah.
priority. I set these as my priority. Don't let this new shiny thing distract me.
Yeah. That's a big one. That's a big
Or
one.
a
Yeah.
lot of times I'll let it play out, like the Kara app or whatever, or like blue sky or whatever, like these new things that come up, and I'm like, I'm not
Oh,
gonna
yeah.
focus on that because I don't know what it's gonna involve, and I'm already
Right.
kind of overexerted.
Yeah.
So like
You
I'm
don't
gonna stay
always
in my
have to be
lane.
an innovator, right?
Yeah, like being the
You can
first to
wait.
do this thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. I did that a little bit with like Whatnot came out. I don't know if you're familiar with that. That's a app where they do like lives and they do live selling. It's a lot on like
Oh.
people that like open like trading cards and sport like Pokemon cards, and
Mm.
they do like they sell things. So it's kind of like pop
So it's
culture
like
kind of
show
stuff.
and tell
It
online?
it's like an Instagram live, but they're actively selling things in there, and it's kind of like you don't know what's gonna come. So it could be
Oh.
that people are. I've watched ones where people are selling like vinyl records.
Oh.
They're a record store, and they go through and they kind of pre-plan what they're gonna sell,
Mm-hmm.
and they go through kind of a set list of what they're gonna sell. Maybe they show the record and show you the cover of the vinyl. This is the vinyl. Okay, this is how, it's a 72. Here's how much the price is. And then it kind of gets bid up. So it's kind of like an auction. It's like
Oh,
a 30
okay.
second auction, and it gets bid. And then if somebody bids, it bumps it another like 10 seconds or 6 seconds or whatever until it like sells. And it's kind of just like entertainment, but it's also, what's going to come next. Or,
Right.
some people buy like Pokemon cards and they buy a pack for this amount of money. And then they open it live on the screen so you can see like people opening it and seeing what cards are in there. And if there's
Oh,
like a,
okay.
a surprise card or whatever. So yeah, I started somebody from Whatnot I think reached out to me or something, was like, "Hey, do you want to like try this?" It doesn't
Oh.
exactly work. I was trying to do it to like sell some products of like handmade. I was doing like shot glasses and I was throwing live, and you
Oh.
can either have products that are like already in your shop that you can sell,
Mm-hmm.
or you can sell it live. So I was kind of doing it. I was doing some demo things where I was throwing the pieces and then I like had them available that you could I kind of did like a random shot glass or something while I was actively throwing, and then they could buy it. And then I was doing like a live kiln unload, and I was like selling the
Hmm.
things that were there when I was unloading it. Yeah, it's
Did
not
people buy?
not that much, not that
Oh.
much. I think it's more the allure of like the collectible things,
Mm.
the resale value, because you kind of get some things at discounts, and
Oh,
it
okay.
it was very like discount focused. So like
Oh,
doing discount sales on handmade it doesn't vibe that well
right. There,
necessarily. At least I hadn't found the right the right thing. I mean I think it was still in its infancy too of handmade. It wasn't quite there.
right,
So maybe they've evolved it over time with handmade, but I'm sure there's somebody that could totally make that work.
right.
But I'm like,
There
I
used to
tried it
be
for a
a,
bit and I was like, I kind of let it fall to the
right.
wayside.
But I feel like too, if you've been around long enough, you start to see that pattern, right? Like the bright, shiny thing, and then,
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
Because I was like, oh man, if I get on this early, because they were kind of like
right,
courting me a little bit, and I'm like,
right,
oh, this feels good. Like I'll be one of the first ones doing
right,
this, and if I find success, like other people are gonna want it, and I'll be in there. Like I already have all the eyeballs because I
right,
started it. But yeah, sometimes you go down the path and you're like, you know what, kind of a waste, but
right. But you learned, right?
you learn from it. You figure out, hey,
Yeah,
maybe I don't need to do that. Maybe that is fun. That fits my, no, it fits my vibe. Like TikTok lives or whatever.
right.
All right, before we get to our topic for the day,
Yes.
we gotta call out our sponsors here. So
Okay.
Insika, by the time this is live, Insika is passed. We all had an amazing time. Ah, somebody won an L&L. 3 L&L plug-in fires went to somebody's house. Um, I'm sure we
Oh,
had a great
free.
time. Well, yeah, they're doing the giveaway at their booth, and then they're giving away
Oh,
two at the K through 12 exhibit to a
oh, that's
teacher and a
nice.
student.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah.
I really like that.
Unfortunately, you're not gonna be able to go this year, right?
Yeah, yeah.
It'll be in your backyard next year. So I
I
mean,
know.
Like Detroit is right
So
there. So
I can go extra hard next year.
yeah, yeah. So you said you were scouting out a new kiln though. You thinking about
Yeah,
getting it?
well, that's because Ensika's going to be in Detroit next year. So I was like, oh,
Oh, there you go. You get a
I
little
should get,
discount, get a
yeah,
little
I should get
deal.
buy a floor model,
Mm.
right?
That's what I did in 2023 when it's in Cincinnati.
Did you get a good deal?
Yeah, I did. I mean, I think they gave me a little better deal because of the podcast sponsorship. So,
Right.
but regardless, they still have the deals of, obviously you don't have to pay for shipping. You got to figure out how to transport it, but it's already
Right.
assembled, which is nice. And then you get all the bells and whistles with it, the stand and like mine's got the rolling stand and it's got the nice controller, the Genesis controller on it.
The are L&L kilns the only kind of kiln you've ever owned?
I've had the very first kiln I got was a kiln sitter and it was a Scut. It was from like
Oh, okay.
1970 something though.
Okay.
The I got it for free from somebody that was getting rid of it. It was a
Hmm.
kiln sitter manual. Those were the days. I was waking up in the morning, turning it on in my parents' basement, going to the futon to sleep for 2 hours, going over, crank it on, crank it up a little bit more, go back to the futon, sleep some
That's
more,
funny.
crank it up. And then I had an Olympic for a long time too. That was a 5 cubic foot, I think.
Okay.
I've always got used kilns. The first new kiln I got was at Ensika 2023 when I got that L&L. So
So
I
the Genesis controller, what is that like?
so it's got the presetting thing. So it's got some preset programs for firing schedules,
Hmm.
or you can save your own custom ones. So like for instance, your custom glaze firing schedule, I put
Yeah.
that in there. I pre-programmed it. It's I think it's user 4 for me. So you can save up to like 20 programs if you want. You can name them
Okay.
whatever you want. I think yours is named Heidi CN6 for Cone 6. Heidi
Oh,
Cone
okay.
6 on my controller. So I have it in there. It's got all the segments you can pre-program. I want to do 4 segments or I want to do 6 segments or whatever and it's really nice cuz you can see all of the settings for each segment. You can see the degrees per hour, what that stop period is, or what that stop temperature is, what the hold period is in minutes, and then you can see that for each segment.
So is it like the Scut touchscreen?
I believe it's like that, yes.
Okay, all right.
Some of the
That's what I
interface might be
have.
a little
Okay.
different, but it's got the graph, it's got an app associated with it that you can use. I believe that's
Okay.
called Kiln
Looks like the
Aid.
same.
So yeah, they're similar.
Can you fuse
Um,
glass in it?
yeah. It's actually got a
Oh,
glass
really?
program on
Oh, it
there.
does? I'm sold.
Yeah, it's got a glass program on there. I haven't done it obviously, but it's cool because it's got some pre-programmed in there on the custom setting, and it's got crystalline ones, and it does say glass on there on one of them. I haven't looked at the program to see like what kind of segments it's got,
Hmm.
and then it's got the kind of the standard ones that you would expect. It's got like a quick cone setting where you can say I want to do cone 6 slow, or you know a, if you say it's got you could go bisque and then you can say the temperature and say slow, medium, fast, and it adjusts the schedule because it knows it's a bisque firing. You can do, you say it might ask you for a preheat if you want to do a preheat. And then the cone firing, you could do, okay, well, I want to do a glaze firing to cone 5 and hold or, slow, medium, fast or whatever. And it's got some of those like easy ones. It's got the troubleshooting. If it's got an error, you can look up the error in the manual and see what those errors are, or send the logs over to L&L. They've troubleshoot some
Oh,
things with
really?
me when I
That's
first got
nice.
it, and I was trying to get the Wi-Fi set up. So yeah, Genesis is great,
I
and it's
wonder
it's
if,
still part of like Bartlett, so it's like a Bartlett controller, but it's
okay,
the Bartlett Genesis. So it's
okay,
I think it's the same as what Olympic uses now, but the branding of the box is a little bit more L&L branded.
okay. Where are L&L's made?
They're outside Philadelphia. They're in New
Oh,
Jersey,
okay,
but it's outside
okay,
Philadelphia, Pennsylvania.
okay. So I wonder if like the size of an L&L would be like comparable to my Scut so that like the kiln shelves like
Oh, yeah,
interchangeable.
they would be. What do you have now? Or
The
what
1220,
size would you be looking for?
I have the 1220, the Scott 1227. So I think that's like 12 cubic feet.
Oh, that's big.
It is
That's a
big.
is that the
I
20
love it.
that's the 26-inch shelves?
Yeah.
Scott
And I,
1227.
the only bad thing is, so I got that kiln in 2021 and I had so many, it was during COVID, so there's a lot of issues. They sent me so many shelves that cracked. So they had to keep sending me
Oh.
replacement shelves. And like so many of those shelves that I've gotten that weren't cracked are cracked now. Is that normal? Like, do shelves usually crack in 4 years?
I wouldn't think so.
Yeah, I wouldn't either, but like half
See, I
of them
wonder
are
if it's like
cracked.
when they ship shelves and stuff like that.
So
I
yeah,
almost
because I
wonder
didn't know if
how.
maybe like because they're the bigger shelves, if they crack, you know,
Oh, I would guess they
faster.
probably have a little more weight on them, so it's a little more risk
Yeah,
to.
so on my wish list next year are advancer kiln shelves too, but we'll see.
Ooh, yeah, you got to add those in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think the equivalent to 1227. You said 1227 is a 10 cubic
Yeah.
feet,
Oh, 10. Okay. 10 cubic
10
feet.
cubic feet. So it looks like there is one that's an easy fire, but it only goes to cone 8, or you can get the quad series, which is a more like production level one. So
That's what
the
mine's like, the production.
okay, yeah. So the easy fire one is the E28T, and then the E Quad Pro production kiln is the E2827-3,
And that goes to cone
which
10.
that goes to cone 10.
Okay.
And they actually do have one of those models that is going to be at Ensika this year. That was one of the ones that they told us they have on site when they
Oh.
show at Ensika. So I believe that's a pretty common. So normally what they do is they have obviously they'll have the plug-in fire because they're going to sell it or they're going to give it
Mm-hmm.
away. And then the other ones they have are the E18S, which is a 3 cubic foot kiln.
Mm-hmm.
So 18-inch um, wide. So it's got the 15-inch shelves. And then the next size up that they have is their most popular one, which is the one that I have, which is the E23T.
Mm-hmm.
So 23 inches across. It's got like 21-inch shelves or 20-inch shelves, depending on how thick. I think the brick is 3 inches thick, so I think it's a 20-inch shelf. And then the E2827, or
The
the
one you have, is
maybe
that like 7 cubic feet?
mine is 7 cubic feet. Yes,
Okay. So that's like the Scott 1027.
1027. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Those seven
How
cubic feet
nerdy
ones
are
are
we
pretty.
that we're just like, it's kiln number blah 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 blah
Well, yeah. I mean
off the top of our head.
yeah, the 1027
Yeah.
and the 1227.
Yeah. Mhm.
Yeah, and yeah, usually you can tell from like the obviously the numbers are for the L&Ls, the numbers are the width and I believe it's the depth as well. So
Oh, that's
20
smart.
28 across, 27 deep is the EQ 2827.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense.
And then like the smaller ones that are have the S and the T and the M and stuff, that's small, medium, large, or small, medium, tall. So E18S is 18 inches across,
Right.
small, so it's 2 rings. The M has a third ring in there, which is kind of like a shorter brick.
Oh, okay.
I don't know that that one has a element in that middle section, and then the
I used to have
T
an Olympic like that.
and then the T has a taller one. Yeah, that's
Oh, okay.
the Olympic that I had was similar to that.
Yeah. It had like an extra ring of nothing. Well, I just
Yeah,
mean like it didn't have elements in it.
yeah, I think my first Scut had a blank ring in it.
Oh, really?
It would adjust so if you wanted, you could put the blank ring in there and you could fire it for bisque, but you wouldn't want the blank ring in there for the glaze because it couldn't get up to temperature for a cone 6 glaze. So I would have to take the
Oh,
blank ring out if I wanted to glaze fire in it. But it was kind of nice
gotcha.
because you could actually, I mean, the way that those work, you could take the sections off with the manual kiln. You
Right.
could take the sections off and just fire it with a shorter kiln if you wanted to.
Right.
and get it done quicker. But I would always pack the hell out of those kilns, so
Right.
I wouldn't usually do that. But yeah, so there's a quite a range of options.
Well, that's good they have a touch screen because
Hmm.
I think like once you have a touch screen, I don't know if you can go back, you
Yeah.
know.
Have you considered getting controllers to upgrade some of your I'm guessing you have more than one kiln.
I do. My other kiln is from 1984.
Is that like
Yeah,
a 3 cubic foot, 5 cubic foot, something like that?
that's a 7.
7.
Yeah,
Okay. A
that's
7
a
and a 10.
Scott. Yeah, but that's a really good kiln. Like that I bought that kiln used, and the lady had only fired it like 2 or 3 times,
Hmm.
and like I've had that kiln.
So then it
I,
doesn't have a controller with it.
no, it's a manual,
Okay.
so that's the
Honestly,
one that
getting those controllers added for kilns is not really that bad. Like
no, it's
converting it.
not, but like I don't think it's worth it because the inside of the kiln is kind of trashed.
Oh, do you just
Because
use it for bisque or?
I use it for glaze once in a while, but usually just for bisque. Yeah.
Okay.
Because now this is going to turn into a long story. But now because Gersley borate no longer exists and I use Gillespie borate, I have to
Hmm.
slow fire for glaze and it's kind
Yeah.
of a pain in the butt in the manual, so I do that all
Yeah.
in the touch screen.
That's the reason that I have your program. Thank you, Heidi.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Thank you, Heidi. I'm
Yeah,
adjusting some recipes now. We're gonna see. I got a floating blue recipe that doesn't have Gillespie in it. I got some other ones, and slowing down the firing has been good for the Gillespie substitute.
that's good.
So, yeah, we'll see. I was actually kind of geeking out a little bit with another potter at the show this past weekend because we were talking about some of that stuff with the Gillespie and slowing it down. And he was like, some of these are a little powderier. And one solution that he said he did to make it less powdery was he actually doubled the bentonite. So instead of
Oh,
maybe
that's
2%, you
interesting.
bump it to 4%, and it made it less powdery. So
Oh, hmm,
I don't know. It's interesting to just chat with people, and he's like, "Oh yeah, yours probably does this," and oh, it's that ingredient, and
right.
they know the
Yeah,
sciencey side of it. And I'm like, I don't know. I just slow the firing down. Somebody did this and it worked, and I tried it and it worked.
right,
I mean, I don't love an 18-hour glaze firing, but
right,
I
right.
mean, if it means consistent pots that I don't have to worry about, then I'm willing to
Mm.
do it.
Well, and Becca told me, I don't know if this is true, but she told me that if you fire your kiln at like slower, your elements last longer.
Yeah, she told me that too. I mean, it makes sense, I guess.
Well, I'm still on the same so ever since she told me that, I fired that Scott 1227 slow and I haven't changed the elements yet, and they're 4 years old and they
Yeah, that's
still
a
look
long
pretty
time.
good. And that's a long time.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Yeah,
4 years.
yeah,
Yeah, I also don't know how long to keep going. Like, when the elements start sagging and stuff, I'm like, how long? Like, should I just keep pushing it? Should I just keep going until they basically like stop?
right,
I mean, obviously some of the firings go longer, but
right.
I just add a little bit more hold at the end, or
Yeah.
I don't know.
Because I've heard you should replace them after 100 firings, but I don't know
Hmm.
if everyone does that.
I don't know that I could probably look in my kiln log and see when the last time I did it or whatnot. Or I mean, a lot of those controllers they count the firing, so you can look at it
Right.
and just note what firing number it was at when you last did it.
Yeah.
All
Yeah.
right. All right.
Okay.
So if Heidi wants to look at the kilns to see all the options that they have, she can go
Yes.
to hotkilns.com. If you want to put slash wheel talk on there on the URL, it doesn't hurt because it knows that they got it from us. So if you want to do that, we'd appreciate it.
Okay.
Otherwise, you can just go to hotkilns.com and find all about the LNL.
Nice.
There you go.
Is this when you do your song?
I'm not doing it.
Oh, okay.
Hotkilns.com.
There we go.
There
That's
we
my
go.
favorite part.
Becca adds a little more flavor, a little more flair to it.
Mm,
All right, so we're to our topic for the day. What
okay.
is the topic today? Do you want to introduce it?
Sure. Today's topic, I even wrote it down. How to build an email list and keep it fun and, and keep it growing for your business.
There we go. All right. Email
Woo.
lists. We
Yeah.
both have email lists. How long have you had an email list?
Oh, a long time. Uh, Before there was even MailChimp.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You put it out at your shows, a little pen and paper, sign up for my
Mm-hmm.
mailing list, and
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
did you
Considering
ever?
how long I've had it, I feel like I should have more people on it, but I'm not going to shame myself, email shame myself.
Yeah. Did you ever collect like addresses and stuff to mail physical
Heck
things?
yeah.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's yeah. Mm-hmm.
Do you still collect them?
Physical mailing addresses?
Yeah.
No,
No.
no.
Did
It
you
would be
did
kind
you
of
actually
fun
mail
though.
out some snail mail to people when you were
I
doing
sure,
events or?
yeah, postcards, and I would do like my summer schedule.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Yeah.
Did you make it pretty and all that? Like printed the
Mm-hmm.
postcard and
Yeah.
had all the dates and
Yeah. And then they could like put it on their refrigerator.
that's great.
So
Okay. So how many do you
yeah.
have on it? Do you know when you started it?
Do you want me to look?
No,
I don't
just
know
kind
if I
of
can.
guess.
Uh,
10 years ago?
oh no. Probably like 2010, maybe. Let's see, if I started in 2006, I think I might work. When did Etsy start? 2007?
I can do a quick Google search here.
Sorry, I don't expect you to be Google.
Oh, I'll Google.
Um, did it
Etsy was
say
founded in June of 2005.
2005? Okay. Oh, my earbuds are dying. It used to say on your Etsy store when you started it. So I think maybe I started my Etsy shop in 2007.
Wow, you
Well,
were early
maybe
days.
2008, 2009, I started my name.
Okay. Yeah, so it's
And
been
that
quite a
would have,
while.
yeah. So that would have been like on Gmail, right?
Probably.
Which technically you're not supposed to do.
Do you mean what are you not supposed to do?
Like if you're going to start an emailing, like an email list, you're not, you have to give people the option to like unsubscribe.
Oh, right. So you were just putting their emails in a BCC
Yeah.
field and just
Yeah.
sending it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because they didn't have like those, the
They didn't have
mailing
the
lists.
laws, yeah,
Yeah, they didn't have the laws yet. So
privacy
I'm
laws
I'm
or
part of the reason why they have those laws.
I'm sure
I was an early
the
spammer.
deliverability rate was pretty sketch too at that point.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. So,
Hmm.
but the reason you asked me, so Ryan sent me a list of topics to choose from, and I picked this one because a lot of people on social media are kind of panicking right now about their reach and about just like if people are quitting and they're trying to get people to join their email list.
Hmm.
That's
Yeah,
why
I
I
mean,
thought it'd be good.
I think it's always been smart to get customers in a piece of real estate that you own to some
Right.
extent. I mean, obviously, if
Yeah.
you use platforms like Mailchimp or whatever, their names are stored in their systems, but at least you have something that is yours
Right.
that they've given you consent to reach out to them.
Right.
And, a lot of us do feel some sense of guilt at times when you write up emails and send them out and you're, "Oh, am I going to bother them? Oh, am I
Or
just
do you feel, oh, do you feel like you're bothering people?
sometimes,
Oh.
I think back to, okay, what was the last thing that I sent to them? Okay, was it about my show schedule in the winter? Okay, have I done a this is my new year, this is what I'm looking forward to. Have I done something that didn't have a call to action in it or,
Mm.
something asking them for some something, you know?
So I think like when I started, I felt more that way that I was bothering them, but it has shifted to now if the person on my mailing list isn't one of my people, like I want them gone. And I and I don't mean that in a bad way, but like, you want your mailing list to be your people, right?
Mm-hmm.
So when I sit down to write it, like I'm kind of in that headspace, like I think to myself, they want to hear from me.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm not like a big business that's emailing them every day or twice a day.
Right.
So when they check their email, they're like, oh, what's this?
Right.
Hopefully, hopefully.
Yeah, you're writing to the people that showed interest enough to sign up.
Right,
And there's obviously a reason they signed up. They didn't have to sign up. You didn't forcefully put them in your list. You
right,
They had to take an action to get there.
right. And I'm going to take my earbuds out.
Okay.
Hopefully. Can you hear? Hang on.
I can hear you.
Oh, okay.
Sounds good.
Okay. There was feedback. Okay. So, what was I saying about email list? What were we
You were saying
saying?
you don't feel guilty about sending them nowadays. You felt
Yeah,
that way early on, but not
I
now.
yeah, because people started writing me back.
Oh yeah? Do you get a
Yep.
lot of replies?
Yeah, I do. Not a lot, but usually like one or two in email.
Yeah. Is it
You
just
know,
like, "Oh, I'm so looking forward to this," or "I snagged something," or like
it
what kind of
depends.
replies
Yeah,
are you getting?
it depends. Like, oh, I like this, or oh, this is neat, or just different things.
Hmm.
Um, they're not negative, so that's good.
Right. And if they were negative and they didn't like it, they could always unsubscribe. It's totally in their ballpark. If it's balls in their court. If they don't want to see it anymore, they can unsubscribe.
Right. And if someone is like causing you a lot of grief, you can unsubscribe them.
Yeah, that's true.
I have done that.
Really?
Yeah, yeah, twice.
Was it like they habitually always replied to your things?
No, one of them, it was around Christmas time, and I was sending an email about like where you could buy my work, locally. And one of the galleries that I used to sell to wrote me back and was like, well, you should have featured my gallery. And I'm like, you're an hour and a half away. Like, you're not, like, I was doing
Right.
like half an hour, not an hour and a half.
Yeah. And most of your subscribers early days and they
Yeah.
probably signed up that were close to you and
Right.
knew
Well, and
you.
that was like the whole topic of the email, like local, not national or even regional. So
Hmm.
that annoyed me. And then one time,
Yeah.
a lady on my email list, she proofread, I don't even remember what it was, something on my website and sent it back to me.
Oh no.
And I
So
was,
they were acting like they were being helpful. Well, they
mm-hmm,
thought they were being helpful by proofreading your
yeah,
website and sending you, "Hey, by the way,
yeah,
there's a typo on this page."
yeah. And I was like, nope.
Like, "No, thank you."
Yeah,
Okay. So you can do that just like you can quit customers that, commissions or whatever.
yeah,
You
yeah,
can you can quit subscribers to your email list. They're
right.
honestly probably not really going to know.
No, they won't know.
I mean, they'll just be like, "Oh, I haven't seen an email from you recently, you know?"
Right. Like, oh,
"Oh, I'm sorry.
I,
Maybe your email got lost or
right.
you
Check your spam folder.
know." There you go. What's the worst? I mean, it's like, "Oh, I missed your update."
Right, right. Yeah, I think that's the thing. Like, we think that people are thinking about us more than they actually are,
Right.
you know?
Just like, I don't know if you feel this way at all, but it's these days you've got to be in so many different places. You see people at shows, you have your website, you have your Facebook page, you have your Instagram account, you have your email list. Like you're very available. Generally, most of us are pretty available.
Right,
So whenever we make a post, we're like, okay, we're putting a little bit out there. We're showing ourselves a little bit. and then it goes to Facebook and it goes to all these other places. And then you're like, okay, I'm going to write an email. I'm putting myself out more because it's actually landing in somebody's inbox.
Right.
It's probably inundated with all the other emails that are in their inbox that maybe they don't care about. So maybe it's a nice little bump to their day of like, oh, I got an email from Heidi. Let's see what she's up to.
Right.
And even if it feels redundant from what you already say on Instagram or Facebook or whatever,
It's
like
okay.
assuming that everybody has already read that or seen that, like who cares? I don't
Right.
know.
Right. Because think about it. It's not redundant. It's consistent. Ta-da.
Consistent. There you go. There you go. Have you ever thought about being reluctant to repost uh social media posts that you've shared in the past?
Like an image?
Like an image or a reel or something like that?
Um,
Because I've felt that where I don't want to repost something because people already know that I've done this. I've shared this before. So why am I going to repost the same thing that I've already shared? Even, they're going to notice it's redundant.
you know what though? I think that's a great like you saying that my brain is kind of like exploding because I'm like, that would be a really fun experiment. Like now, the next time I post, I'm going to repost something and see what happens.
And
And
I don't even think it has to be something that's drastically in the past
right,
because so many of us, we just get inundated with content all day,
right, right,
especially if you're on your phone a lot, that a lot of us don't even know. Or if I
right,
have noticed other people that reshare content, I'm just like, oh, they're just trying to like get visibility of it could be either it was really successful in the past and they're trying to like spark that
right,
again because it's really popular, or people asked about it and they're just getting it closer up in the feed so new people that haven't followed them historically see
yeah.
it for the first time.
So I think I used to do that more. I did. I actually forgot about it like until you mentioned it. I would actually do that more on Instagram. Repost like if something did really well, I would repost it later. I don't
Hmm.
think that it ever got as much traction the first time, but it still did well. So that's why I was like, Ryan, that's an interesting idea.
Oh, so you were giving it a second life in a way.
Yeah.
You were like, this didn't get as much visibility as it should have, so I'm gonna see if I can get a little bit more.
No, I my thought was it got a lot of visibility. Let's see if I
Oh, it
can.
already had success. Okay.
Yeah, so it's if it's already successful, let's try it again.
Yeah. And I wonder if you could kind of do that experiment with, let's say you did a carousel and it was finished pots. If you could swap the first image for the second image and see if there's different images in that carousel that gets more attention and more, hooks people
That's smart.
better than the first one.
Right.
And people that look at your grid, it doesn't look redundant because it's not the exact same first
Right.
image. The content may be like, you know, spring bud vases are back in stock or something like
Right.
that. And, you know, they're unique enough that you have some variety. You can choose what order, and they're,
Hmm.
essentially the same four images, but you
Right.
just swap the order of them.
And like talking about that, um, you can do that for email campaigns too.
You've reposted email campaigns and said new
You
things are in
can
stock, or
no, you can do that, but you can also send like and it's called like A/B campaign,
A/B testing. Yep.
A/B testing. Yep. And you can do that, so you can see which email performs better.
Hmm. Yeah, I learned a lot about that in my day job. We did that for marketing.
Oh, oh, uh-huh.
We did that a lot on web pages. So it's a way that you can track engagement because there's not really a true one-to-one comparison if you don't have the exact same variables.
Hmm.
So if you can choose, let's say you A/B test a email and you change the subject line. I don't know if it's that granular or if you're just changing images on the email, but let's
Hmm.
just say you change the subject line. Do I have a better open rate based on the subject line
Right.
from one email to the next email? Or do I get a better click through rate, the amount of people that actually click on something on the email based on the image that's at the top?
Mm-hmm.
one to the next. Or the call to action, is the button text different on this email versus that email? Do I have
Right.
shop now or do I have see what's available?
Right.
Are there different call to actions? And usually we would do that in the marketing site. We would run them against one another for a certain period of time. We would see the amount of engagement they would get, and then
Mm-hmm.
we would choose the one that won to like publish for everybody.
Oh.
And a lot of times you can choose that difference. Like it doesn't always have to be split 50-50, where half of the people see one and half of the people see the
Mm-hmm.
other. You could do it where 75% of the people see one because it's more popular or whatever, and 25% see this other one. I don't know if it's that granular with email campaigns, but sometimes you might do an A B C test where you have three different options and you want to see between the three which one does the best. So,
That's interesting.
yeah.
Hmm.
So
So much to think
yeah,
about.
we used it a lot. Have you actually used it on yours?
I haven't. No, I'm going to now.
What kind of thing? Because I wonder what they allow you to switch out. Because I would, you could also think about this as a consumer. What draws you in to want to open an email?
Right. And that's what I think about like when I write emails too. And that's another thing. So, when you go to a website and they have those email pop-up forms,
Mm-hmm.
I had that on my website and then I decided to take it down because when I go to websites, I hate them so much.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know
You
if
can
I,
adjust some of the timing, but it's
yeah,
still kind of an obtrusive
yeah. I was
and
like,
it's annoying. You just
yeah, I
want
was
to
like,
exit out of it.
I was like, I don't think I've ever signed up to one of these. So I got rid of that on my website.
Hmm. So where do you have it now? Is it still in like an accessible place?
Yeah. I think it's at the top, it's in the middle, and it's at the bottom.
Okay, so if I'm at Bella Joy Pottery right now,
Well, I think it's at the top, in the middle, at the bottom. Let's look.
Bella Joy Pottery, I see I'm
Yeah.
on the homepage, so I
o-
see be the first to shop one of a kind pottery, and it says join now. I suspect
Okay.
that's probably an
Yeah.
email
So, but
sign
at the
up.
very top on the banner, there's a there says Bella Joy. Did you see that one?
Oh yeah, it's got a kind of a banner that's
Yeah.
cycling through. It says
Yeah.
in-person shopping is unavailable while we build a new studio, and then if you
Uh,
swipe over, it says Bella Joy delivered right to your inbox. Sign up now.
yeah. And then there's one at the very bottom.
Yeah, so that's less obtrusive.
Yeah.
And then if you're at the very bottom, it says be the first to shop one of a kind pottery. Join now. So
Right.
yeah,
That works.
nice to have the different spots. And I like how the one inside the middle of the page has it's got it's a nice page divider. It's still what we call like above the fold. If you're on a computer,
Mm-hmm.
it's one of the first things you see at the top of the page. You see a picture of you, a little about your stuff, and then it's got a nice contrasting background. It's got the light
Right.
blue with the black text, so it stands out. The
Right.
button is black, so it stands out as well.
Right.
Be the first to shop one of a kind pottery. Join the email list to be the first to know about one of a kind shop updates and studio news.
Yeah. I could probably change that, but
Yeah, some of that verbiage is interesting because you like for me, I think of why do I sign up for emails for different things? Do I want to do it because I feel that there's going to be an incentive with the discount code when I first sign up,
right.
or am I interested in the shop update side? Do I want to know about events that are coming up?
Right.
Why am I signing up? So some of that hook of what's going to get
Right.
them to sign up.
So I think I haven't looked at that in a while, but that was more like when my shop updates would sell out,
Yeah,
you know, they don't now, which is fine. Um, so yeah, I should probably change that.
that would be fun to A/B test. I don't know that you could
Oh
with your
yeah,
website, but if you could swap out that, I mean, that's kind of what we were doing with our marketing site.
right.
You'd swap out that whole section and you would say, you change the header, be the first to
Hmm.
shop one of a kind pottery.
Yeah,
Maybe you change that or you change the button text.
yeah. I was gonna say I used to have for my email sign up, it was like save 10%.
Hmm.
on your first order, but I found that people would just sign up and then unsubscribe, which is
Yeah,
that's not what I wanted.
right. And I probably need to change my verbiage because I think that's what mine is.
Oh, but maybe it works. Maybe people aren't unsubscribing. It seemed like there was a trend, and not everyone would do it, but it just seemed like enough people that was like, hmm.
Well, I think the thing is for mine, it's a little tough because my sign up is so the way mine is written, mine's on my contact page. I do have one of those pop-ups. I don't see the pop-up right now, but I do have one of the pop-ups that come up and it's got a discount code. But mine says join my mailing list, find out about upcoming shows when new items are added to the shop, and our monthly Tiki Tuesday newsletter where we share a cocktail recipe from our home tiki bar in handmade and vintage vessels from our
Is that
collection.
true?
Yeah, so the last Tuesday of every month, Rachel writes what we call Tiki Tuesday,
Uh-huh.
and we have a new recipe with some handmade. Usually, it's handmade ceramic or glass, or not always handmade glassware, but some aesthetically pleasing glassware, and we make a cocktail every month, and we
That's
send
really
it out.
cute. I
So
didn't know
that's the
that.
most consistent email that we do. So
Right.
we do a monthly email, but I wouldn't say it's necessarily pottery. It's it's that. So
I
and that's
don't
just
always, oh, go ahead.
and yeah, that's just something fun that we started. I think we're at like 2.5 years in,
I
and
think
it's
it's
not that stressful. It's once a month. I mean,
right. I think it's important, like other business owners could think that this idea is dumb. That's fine. But like I try to send emails once in a while where I sell nothing.
yeah, no call to action.
Yeah. Where it's just like, here's a little something about me or.
Hmm.
And people really like that. I
So
get
what's like a
I
most
get the
recent one
most
that you did that was like that?
I did one in January that was like a roundup of 3 things that I was happy about. People really liked
Nice.
it. Yeah.
So that
I should have
was
done 5.
I'm actually subscribed to your email list. One other thing I would recommend, sign up for other people's email lists to see what they're doing.
Oh,
So you
right. Yeah.
can so it was
I
I
can
see
do.
one that says image transfer class and it says virtual image transfer class. It's not those.
It might have been that.
Virtual image transfer class?
Yeah. Because I was like, because I realized that, not everyone's into that. So I was like, here's an image transfer class for some people. And if you're not into that at all, I wrote this blog post about
Mm-hmm.
three things that brought me joy in 2024. And I got more responses to that than any other email.
Hmm.
But
Wow,
that's
just
like the
refreshing.
goodwill that you need to build with your customers, right? It's all about building a relationship.
Right.
Is it
And
on?
yeah,
Oh,
I found it. It's the
okay.
one before that. It says image transfer class and I don't know if you forgot the last word off of the subject line.
Oh, oh, so no, I filled out the bottom. So on MailChimp, there's the main subject and then like the
Oh, it's got like a
tagline.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so that tagline, oh, I don't see the tagline. Usually I think you see it I definitely see it on my phone.
Well, that's good to know that you don't see it because then my
Mine I
emails
can
won't make as much sense.
yeah, if I'm looking in my inbox, I can see the one before it says last day and then the little thing after it says to shop online.
Okay. Maybe I didn't write it. That's possible.
But it's hard to see that kind of subtext line
Right.
without being on your phone because I see it on my little like preview. When you get well, if you don't have notifications turned on, you probably don't see this, but it shows it shows who it's from, and then it says the subject, and then it's got the little subtext in the
Right.
within the little notification bubble that comes down from the top of on my iPhone. At least that's what I see. Um, but yeah, that's where I would see that. Yeah. So in your email, this email's super short. It's like 2 paragraphs.
Yeah. They don't have to be long.
Happy New Year, Ryan. It's got a photo of works in progress. I don't know if that was just the photos that you're using, and this may be separate, but yeah, they're just kind of a little bit of extra fluff to add. It doesn't necessarily have to relate to. Well,
No.
I guess it is. It's virtual image transfer, so these are image transferred, I guess.
Right.
Yeah, hope your New Year's off to a good start. One, I'm teaching a virtual image transfer class, and then two, if you're saying to yourself, I don't want to take an image transfer class, I wrote a little blog post roundup of three joyful moments from 2024. You could read those
Right.
here. So yeah, and you can see the click-through rate on that specific link
Yeah.
and see how many people went to it. But it sounds like you said people replied to you. So
Yeah.
yeah, and you wrote this whole blog post in mid-January,
Right.
2024 roundup, and it's got yeah quite a bit in here. Nice.
Yeah. People like that.
So with your imagery, are you typically just adding a little fluff to it, or are they? How do you kind of you go out of your way to photograph things and say like I'm gonna put this in my email newsletter?
The only time I like go out of my way to take a photograph is if like I'm having a sale and it's like the last day and like I maybe want to highlight something that's still available.
Hmm.
But I feel like I have so many photos of pots, like I don't have to, you know.
Yeah.
And like a lot of times I'll reuse them, right? So like we were talking about earlier, I would use the same image for like social media as I would for the email,
Hmm.
right?
Yeah, I think they are. Yeah, a lot of times it's I don't know the right word. I keep saying fluff, but it's window dressing. Maybe that's a nicer kind
Oh,
of like
window
window
wrap.
dressing. It's like a
Yeah,
little something extra. Because who
right.
just wants to open an email and just see
What do they
a
call
wall of text?
lifestyle? That's what they call them. Lifestyle.
Lifestyle, yeah.
Lifestyle pictures.
Yeah, this new pots in the shop one that you did, and it's got the flower, like the new like the fresh flowers in it. With the
Oh,
vase. Oh, that looks great.
thank you.
And then it's got a huge button that says "Show me the pots."
Yeah, I try and be silly, right?
Yeah, and then it's got the photos of the pots stacked up with the different graphics. It's got a cat. I think having the stacks of pots is nice. I would do that a lot for my emails when I would do a shop update. I would do kind of a I kind of called it like a family photo sort of,
Oh, I like that. Yeah.
where you kind of put a selection a little cross section of the different
Yeah.
forms and try to pick the ones that look really good and gives people an idea what's out there, what's coming.
Right.
Um, but yeah, a lot of times I'll feel, like, oh, these are the same photos that I use on my social media or
People
whatever,
don't
but
care.
it's
People don't care.
consistent.
Right.
It's consistent. Who cares?
People don't
You're
care.
showing them good
You're
quality
consistent.
photos.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure the photos has some aspect of whether, it's enticing for them to want to go or not.
Right.
Okay, I have a question. When you
Okay.
do them,
Yeah. Do the
when you do an update and you're sending
yeah,
an email for the update, do you send it before the update
I
with
do.
the date of when it goes live, or
Oh
do you do
no.
it once they're live and they can shop right there when they see the email?
So full disclosure, I do not think I am the best person when it comes to doing updates. Not, and that's not me like trying to be self-deprecating. That's more like I see other people do it and I think like they will start talking about it like a couple weeks beforehand, where I'm more like 2 days before, like I'm doing a shop update in 2 days.
And that's across social media and email newsletter.
Yes,
You're
and
communicating about it.
yeah, I really need to build, I think that time, that,
Anticipation and the
yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah, I do. Yeah, yeah. So,
Yeah, I don't do the best at that either.
yeah,
A lot of times I find that an update is just another thing
yeah,
that I'm doing, and it doesn't, for me, it doesn't receive special attention just because
right,
it's an update. It's
right,
just I want to put things online because I haven't put things online,
right,
and they're available. They're
right,
now available. I'm not doing this big hullabaloo of building up the anticipation, and this is what I'm
right.
working on this week. I'm glazing these things so that when I get them out, I'm going to update the website, and it's going to have all these new pots that freshly came out of the kiln. Like some of these pots may have been made like 6 months ago or whatever, and I
I
just
kind of
haven't
like,
put them anywhere, and now they're available.
right. And now talking to you about this, I'm thinking like, I wonder if I'm not doing that because like maybe deep down I'm afraid like if I put that extra effort in and they didn't sell out, I would feel bad. So if I don't put as much effort in and I don't sell out, well, I can say, oh, well, I didn't put the effort in, so it's okay. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you always
Man,
have
I'm
an
learning a
excuse to go
lot
back
on,
to.
yeah, I have to write this stuff down.
Write that down.
No, but I'm serious. Like
But
just,
but you said that you did have shop updates that sold out. Or you said you had sellouts. I don't know if those were
yeah,
a
but
typical shop update format or were they something different?
yes, yes, they were, and they did sell out, but that was like 2020, 2021. I feel like everybody's shop updates were selling out then.
Mine weren't.
Oh,
No.
sorry, Ryan.
Mine not everybody's, but
Okay, sorry, sorry.
I'm just giving you a hard time.
Sorry, sorry, sorry.
So wait, how are you doing those then? Or was it just easy? You just didn't have to promote it more and it just happened anyways.
No, Ryan, you're asking me so many good questions. Like, I promoted it more. And I think
Okay,
I,
so social media, you were
yeah,
showing, were you showing process?
process, finished pieces. Like, I would try and see, I think that was it. Like, I would try and have the finished pieces out like 2 weeks before the actual shop update. Whereas now they like come out of the kiln like 2 days before. So I'm not giving
Mhm.
myself enough time to actually try and promote it. You know what I mean?
So with those 2 weeks, were you like fully finished and like all of the pieces were done, or were you making a selection of a cross section of what was going to be in there and you were making the rest of the stock over those 2 weeks?
No, everything was done.
Everything was done. Okay, so you were
Yeah.
kind of holding it back.
Yeah.
You were taking your time to promote it,
Yeah.
build the content. I don't know if you had process reels that you were still publishing in those 2 weeks after they were already done too.
I don't think I was doing process reels then, but I was doing process photographs.
Okay, so process photographs, you were photographing the finished work. You were probably,
Yeah.
making it look all pretty. You were getting your
Yeah.
website updated, making the listings all good.
Yeah, because one of my favorite parts of this whole thing is actually photographing my pots. Ryan, you are just breaking my brain because I'm not giving myself enough time to do that now. And so like I'm not getting excited and I'm a strong believer in if you're not excited about your own work, it's really hard to sell it.
Ooh, yeah,
So
that's
I
great.
so
That's
I'm
great
not
advice.
look at this.
So in a way, you like to sit with your pots. You like to enjoy them.
Yeah,
It's not a quick, I think about this when I unload kilns. I don't want to unload the kiln as quick as possible. It's not a means to an end of the kiln needs to get unloaded, so let's
right.
do it. For
Yeah.
me, it's a whole experience. It's like I want to take my time.
Yeah.
Maybe I don't spend 30 seconds or 45 seconds with each piece, but I'm at least looking at the piece, seeing if
Right.
there's any intricacies that I didn't notice or that I thought was going to happen and didn't happen. I mean, with the electric kilns, a lot of times it's pretty much what it's going to look like, but
Right.
even if you can sit with it a little bit
Right.
and build that anticipation, that excitement.
Right. Yeah. So that
And it
maybe
sounds like you like the photographing, so
I
you can
do.
kind of play around with the aesthetics and like, okay, what do I
Yeah.
want to do with this? And if you
Like
know that it's going to sell, what's the reason to put all this extra time and effort into photographing? If you're like, oh, well, it's going to sell anyways, I can mail this in a little bit, you know?
right. But like to it's so this is gonna sound really corny, but it's more than photographing to me. It's like documentation on like me at a certain time.
Oh yeah, you're going to look back at
Right.
this in the future
Yeah.
and say, what did my pots look like in 2020?
Right. And so like I don't usually talk about this stuff.
And who wants to look back at their pots in 2020 and it's you holding it in your hand with a kiln in the background? Like you
Right.
want to see it at its best, right?
Right. Right. And
You
so
want to
like I
see
kept
it all. It got showered, it got
yeah.
sanded, it got
Yeah.
buttoned up.
Yeah.
It's got its mousse in its hair. It's all
Right.
ready to go.
Exactly.
It's
Yeah.
got good lighting, all
Right.
that good stuff.
Yeah. Huh.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if you sat with it longer, you think that it would have a better result because you come across when you're talking about it on social media.
Yeah. Plus, I think if I sit with it longer, when like I post, it's not as sales pitchy.
Hmm.
because when I'm like 2 days out, I'm like, oh, I have this update. Like I'm like hyper focused on just like making the sale. And so I feel like people know that. And so it just seems like less authentic.
Yeah. Yeah, if you're putting less effort into being quote unquote like prepared for it
Right,
and on schedule, it feels like you're just, you're not respecting their time of, hey, 2 days out, you ready to
right,
spend money in 2 days? Like
right,
some people need, I don't know about you, but for me, if it's a quote unquote big purchase or medium purchase, like I want to sit with it for a while
right,
because I'm
right,
not a quick impulsive buyer.
right.
I want to feel good about the purchase, and if I have time to think about it, then I don't feel so I don't like the rush. I mean, some
I
people
don't
might like
either.
the rush of the get out there, get it because it might be gone kind of thing.
Yeah,
I want the time to think about it and
right,
feel good about the thing that I'm purchasing and spend time actually looking through the inventory
right. Yeah,
to make sure that I'm not getting anything that I wouldn't feel good about.
right.
So were you doing preview emails as well in that time, or were you just doing the social media promotion and that gave people a good enough preview of what's going to be there?
I think I would I don't know if I consistently did preview emails, but I did them once in a while.
Okay.
You
But
know,
you emailed people 2 weeks out from when the update was and showed
right,
here's a look at what's going to be in there.
right. But like I've never like sat down and thought this through and like talking this through with you, I'm like, oh my gosh, I have a whole new strategy now. I don't have to do the Ann Arbor Art Fair now. No, I'm kidding.
You're committed to it. You're committed to it. You just got to pay for your booth. But you can talk to people about it. I mean, it's March. You got plenty of time to build this story of like, hey,
That's
you know
true.
what? I'm selling at my first art fair in 5 years or whatever.
Yeah.
This is your chance to see all of my work in one place.
Well, and that was part of the reason why I chose that one because a lot of people ask me, "Are you doing this?" Like, because I used to do it so much. So,
Hmm.
oh,
And you could talk about the nerves you have with doing it. Is the weather going to be good? Is it not going to be good?
that's true.
You're being vulnerable, but you're
Right.
also being realistic about, it's a big, big change that you're not used to.
Right. Hmm. Well, this has been great.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah. But I do want to go back. I want to circle back to one thing really quick. So, how to like literally build an email list? Like, you need to sign up for something, right? Like
Yeah, I would say some
MailChimp,
third-party system, MailChimp, Constant Contact,
Constant Contact. What's that other? Flowdesk?
Flowdesk is one.
So, I will tell you this. I used MailChimp and then I moved to Flowdesk for a while because they're just beautiful. Like if you ever get an email from Flowdesk, they're beautiful. And I was like, I want beautiful emails. But when I switched, my open rate really dropped.
Oh, like you had to have, did you manually import everybody
I
to it?
did, yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Hmm.
But so I noticed that. And like I even talked to people who were on my mailing list and they were like, I never even got your email. And I was like, well, I can't run a business an online business if people aren't even getting my emails. So then I switched back to MailChimp.
Oh, okay. I
But
was gonna, so I actually just did a little chat GPT. What are some similar email list systems similar to MailChimp? Uh, Free and small business friendly ones are MailerLite, Brevo. I haven't MooseSend. I don't know what these are. OmniSend. I've heard of OmniSend.
oh,
This is e-commerce and advanced features. OmniSend. There's one called Drip. Yeah, I don't know like any of these names.
yeah, I don't either.
Huh. So MailChimp. I use MailChimp too. I don't even have the paid version. I just have the free version.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, did I ask you how many you have on your list? You mentioned that you felt like you needed more, but do you know actually how many you have?
I have about almost 3,000.
That's pretty good. I mean, I don't know what the rate would be. So is that 3,000 over X number of years, and you could be like, I'm collecting about 100 per year over that time or whatever. It's
Right. Yeah. It's not bad. It's not. It's not bad.
not 100 per year. That's more than that, but
Right. Right.
yeah.
And they come and go, but yeah,
Do you
that's
know? Do you do certain things that prompt people to sign up?
Well, it's funny. I was talking to Katie Miller about that, and she just was telling me she started offering like a freebie, like a what was it, a slip testing PDF that people could print out.
Ooh,
And she said that she has like 2 to 3 people a day. I think that's what
oh
she said.
man.
And I was like, oh, that's a great idea.
You know what I actually heard this from somebody similar. I can't remember what they were doing. I think it was well, I mean, Ceramics Materials Workshop did this recently. They did a clay body sample test and they had a free guidebook or something and you
Oh,
sign up for the email list and you get that thing and then you're in their ecosystem. You get their emails. Um I was thinking about this. The related item that I could do would be people always ask me about the mug shelf. I give away the PDF of the mug shelf build.
oh
I
yeah,
do
that's
the
a great
mug shelf
idea.
every Monday and I just say, "Hey, go to my blog." Like it's linked on my blog. I'm not taking advantage of asking for anybody's information in order
Yeah,
to get this PDF, but somebody else did that where they said, "Oh, I think it was you could read the blog post, but if you wanted to download a PDF of it, you had to sign up." I think it was through McLeod is what it was.
okay, okay.
So she had a blog post, and then if you wanted to download or you wanted to get the PDFs of the blog post or something, you had to sign up for it. It's free,
Mm-hmm.
but that's how she got people to sign up for a mailing list. And it was a good way to build up that inventory of people because otherwise I don't know, it feels a little salesy of like, hey, sign up for my email list because you'll get first notice when I do this shop update coming up in
Right,
next week.
right.
And like I can't really like I do my shop updates on Etsy, so I can't control like a preview kind of thing
Oh,
where
right. Yeah,
people
yeah,
get
yeah.
exclusive access. I mean, I'll email you when it's going to be live, but there's not a way to like prevent other people from getting on there.
Right,
And I don't want to be like, well, I'm only going to tell the people that are signed up for the email list that the update's happening,
right,
and then I'm disregarding the people that are on social media, which are probably going to have a better rate of people clicking to go to the website to like
right,
buy stuff.
right.
But yeah, I think that was a good idea. But I
Yeah.
would like something automated. Like if I do something like that and have a free download, you would want something automated to happen when they first sign up.
So Katie has it where it's just like it's free. So you have to like, and it's like under her classes, and instead of a paid class, it's just like $0.
Katie Miller Ceramics, right?
Yeah, it should be
Okay.
under her workshops.
Workshops,
Yeah,
my workshops.
yeah,
Okay, I see free testing chart, $0.
yep,
Okay. So add to cart, and then I suspect it emails them a PDF. It's like a digital download kind of deal.
yeah, yeah,
Okay, that's great.
yeah. Okay, so what freebie would I offer, Ryan?
Hmm. Let me go to your website here.
Like, I don't know.
Do you email your blogs to people? Your blog posts?
If I write a real one, yes.
So this 2024 roundup that you did in January, was that actually emailed to people?
Yeah. Well, you got the email.
I'm trying to remember if I saw that.
Yeah, remember?
January. Well, there's a link to it, but it doesn't have the actual, you have to go to the link to read it, right?
Oh, you mean do I like write it in the email?
Yeah, like would you send out an email that says, "Hey, a new blog post has been shared" or something?
Oh, no, no. Should I?
I don't know. I mean, it seems like easy content. You're already writing all the content,
That's true.
but I would think actually having the content of the blog would be nice in an email so they can kind of read the story or whatever.
Instead of having them go to the website?
Yeah, I guess. I mean, like some of these have reference photos and things in them, so there's a little more um there's a little more content to it because you've got embedded like Instagram
Yeah.
reels
Those
and
I don't email. Those are just to keep pop,
this looks like
keep up to date.
documentation of
Yeah,
influences and
yeah.
how it was made kind of thing.
But like if I'm on the podcast, like this podcast, I will do a blog post about it and email
Yeah.
it out.
Yeah, about Heidi, press, gallery. Hmm. Is there is there something that people ask you about all the time? What do you get the most questions about? From whether it's peers? Is there something that you could have peers of yours or have that customers ask about that
Good question. I know like silence on a podcast is no good, but like I'm really like,
no, it's fine for you to
I don't
think
know.
about it.
What do people ask me about? Do you make your own transfers? People ask me that all the time, and I'm like, yes.
And you don't sell the transfers.
Maybe I should sell the transfers.
So what if the do you make your own transfers? I was thinking you could have them sign up to get the catalog of transfers or something. I mean, this is a different segment of your business if you were to go that way, but you could have them sign up to get a free catalog of the transfers that you offer or something.
That's a good idea.
I don't know. Are you willing to make transfers and sell them?
Actually, I've been thinking about it. Yeah. Yeah.
There you
Well,
go.
I think you know, I feel like I talk about this once a year, but I was serious. It's like I'm more so like I've done more work since last Nsika about actually doing that.
You've got classes on here. Have you see some of this is like educating people about things that we do all the time or we have available all the time that
Right.
I feel like it's beneficial to, and I'm saying this to hopefully myself is going to do something about it, but something like your classes, like you've got virtual classes on here that people could download, right? It's
Hmm.
available anytime.
Yeah.
Like sharing, did you know I teach virtual classes? A lot of these are all the virtual classes I have available,
Oh,
and
that's
you're
smart.
just saying like, "Hey, are you a ceramic artist or do you like I don't know how many ceramic artists are in your email list, but hopefully the people that aren't ceramic artists would just disregard.
Right.
But you know, sharing things like that, or
Well, that'd even be a good social media post too.
yeah, because it gets traction to your website in an area that's probably neglected. Like I don't talk about uh my podcast. I don't know that I've told my email list that I do a podcast. Like, are you a small business owner?
You've never told your email list you have a podcast?
No.
Ryan. Really? I think
Yeah, I mean, if I'm talking to somebody in a at a show that's and it's contextual, that it makes sense that, oh, I'm also a like a potter. I really like your work or whatever. And if they're talking, I'll say, oh yeah, we've. If they ask us questions, I'll be like, you know, I'll bring it up if it's context if it makes sense, but I'm not gonna like just blatantly throw it out there without somebody asking about it. But like, yeah, I've never written an email list post to say, hey, did you know I have a podcast?
I think that might be a good idea. Because again, like
I think it would be too.
people people will get to know you, right?
Well, yeah, I think in some ways you're like it's a line of like am I being too I'm gonna say like not braggy, but like am I talking about myself too much, you know? Or am I but I also should be like I'm like proud of it. Like I've been doing it for a while, so obviously it's important to me. I spend a
Right.
lot of time doing it, but and then I have the excuses of, well, most of the people are customers. Like why would they care about the podcast?
Well, let's see. Podcasts are kind of popular. It's a unique podcast, right? If people like buying pottery, they might like hearing about how pottery is made.
Mm-hmm.
And I also feel like sometimes, I don't know if you're this way, but like if I see a pot and I like it, I'm like, oh, that's nice. But like if I see a pot and I know like I like the person, I'm even more willing to buy it.
Right. And I think from And I suspect I'm like, well, I put a lot of this stuff out on social media, so the people that want to see it will see it. But the people that are subscribed to me, they're more on a customer relationship. So I'm like, they're not interested in that. But also, you know, it doesn't hurt. It's not like
Right.
I'm gonna get, if I send this out and I get 4 unsubscribes, am I gonna be like, oh no, they don't want to
Right.
know about
Well,
my podcast,
right. And it's like the email I sent in January about the image transfer class. And I was like, if you're not interested in image transfer, here's this blog post, right?
Hmm.
You could do something like that with the podcast,
Oh yeah.
you know? I mean, it
So
could be
don't necessarily make a whole, don't feel like I have to make an entire email about it,
right.
but it
Or
could
you,
be a footnote to the email to say, did you know I also do a podcast?
yeah, like you could on your Tiki Tuesday cocktail, you could be like at the end what we talked about this month on the podcast and then link to the different episodes.
Hmm.
Because, right, think about it. You can enjoy your cocktail while you listen to the podcast.
Yeah, because like for instance, we don't have a podcast email list. We don't have people that are I'm just like, well, the podcast is going to be there every Saturday. They
Right,
know where to go to find it.
right,
We don't have an email list specific for that.
right.
Um, Similarly, we were getting questions semi recently about PodSwap. We don't have a PodSwap email list. We probably should.
Oh, yeah,
People that have participated or want to participate in the future, we should have an email list for that group
yeah,
to send out information or,
yeah,
hey, we've got new shirt designs, and they don't have to find out about it through Instagram or through their email that we do send, but we use like a mail merge system to send the emails. Like
yeah,
we haven't done an email list for this. Like all the general information that everybody needs to know that's a participant, they should know about that stuff without having to go through a
right.
different system to do that. Um, One thing that I do a little bit differently, I don't know if you do this, and do you have segments of users or email list subscribers
I
based on certain
do.
criteria?
Yeah, so there's still segments from like when I did art fairs. So I think
Hmm.
they're called tags in MailChimp. So like if I wanted to tag different segments, so like if I was going to do an art like the Ann Arbor Art Fair and I just wanted to send the email to people who subscribed when I did the Ann Arbor Art Fair, I could just click that and it would only send the email to those folks.
And that was when you were collecting them manually, or you were
Yeah.
doing, I don't know if did you ever do the point of sale collection where you do a checkout and then you would prompt them for their email?
Yeah. That was more when I was doing it manually.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you think it's good for people to do that at an art show? Because I know Square, you can do that.
Oh, you can?
You can prompt people if they want to sign up for for your email list. You can prompt them at the
Oh,
end.
oh yeah. No, I think that's great. That's how I do it on Shopify, but I just can't put it in a segment.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it doesn't actually
It just goes,
funnel it and categorize it automatically
yeah,
because it knows that you got it from that source.
right. It just goes to the main list.
Okay.
I'm sure like if I wanted, I could go back through and like manually look at the dates of when the people signed up and then put it in that art fair segment, you know?
Mm-hmm.
I bet there's a way to do
You kind
that.
of retroactively go back and
Yeah.
add a tag to somebody.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I do similarly have segments. I use the tags in Mailchimp. There's also different, I don't know if you knew this, but if you create landing pages with Mailchimp,
Mm-hmm.
you can also have custom landing pages. That's what I do for my bookkeeping workshops and my soda workshops.
Oh.
So it's a custom landing page that I built.
Mm-hmm.
And when you send people to that landing page and they sign up through that interface, you can
Mm-hmm.
say, everybody from this page, I want to tag them as a soda workshop person.
Oh, that's smart.
So if you had, I don't know if you, like, if you had a different call to action, let's say you have a sign up on your workshop page or something that says, do you want to find out when I have new workshops in the future?
Mm-hmm.
You can have them sign up through that and have it automatically tagged as this is a workshop person. So
Okay.
you already know that they have interest in that area.
Right.
They're not just dropped into the bucket of everybody.
Right. That makes sense. I
And I
didn't
do
know.
that similarly for bookkeeping. So I have a separate landing page that I created on MailChimp. You did, and the for people that aren't familiar with the landing pages, it's essentially just a web page.
Right.
You go in, you create a new campaign, and you say, I want to create a landing page. And it's just web page that you can put, your logo, and you can put an image, you can put some different text there. You can choose if you just want like an email field, or do you want a first name, last name email. Whatever you want on that form, you can do that. And then they can sign up. And I keep those segments for, okay, whenever I'm talking about my Soda Fire workshops, I'm only emailing those people that signed up through that form that showed interest in Soda Fire
Right.
workshops.
Right.
So I think that list has, I want to say, it has like 70 people maybe.
Oh, that's not bad.
So, so yeah, I try to keep it organized so that I'm not inundating people with things that they're not interested in.
Right. Yeah.
Because like, you know, obviously most of them are potters, and I don't even send those people my regular emails. I only send them SodaFire emails.
What if they want to buy your soda fire work?
They probably have to know about it through social media.
No, that was me. I was trying to tell
I
you what.
know.
Okay.
I know. So my
Never mind.
yeah, you're good. You're good. Never mind. We got a little back and forth here. We got some homework for both of us.
Yeah,
I was gonna say so let's see, my Soda Fire segment is man, I don't know that I can see it here. I think it's about total of 103 emails sent. So my Soda Fire workshop, it was 103 people.
that's nice. Yeah, that's
So
good.
that's pretty good.
Yeah.
And it was just like, hey, I understand people are not going to be able to do every soda firing. So just collect those emails. And then I have a separate one for my bookkeeping people. So the ones
Mm-hmm.
that showed interest in the bookkeeping workshops.
Mm-hmm.
And
That's actually really smart. I should do that.
I've got 169 emails that sent the last time I sent one for that.
You have that many more for bookkeeping. Wow.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Well, I started the bookkeeping earlier. So I think I
Oh,
started
okay.
the bookkeeping in 2023, maybe.
Oh, okay.
And I just started the soda workshops last year.
Okay.
So, I mean, it does take some. And the great thing is, when I announce, and this is a reason to sign up for like the soda workshop mailing list, like I send them the notice first. I announce the dates first for the soda workshops,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't even share them to social media. I filled one of the workshops just from my email list without even having to share it on social media. So they do get,
Oh, that's nice.
preference. It's only
Yeah.
6 spots, but when you're sending it to 100 people, filling 6 spots for people that have already showed interest in something like that.
Right. Yeah. Hmm.
And one thing I think it's been more fun to do those emails, the bookkeeping and the soda,
Mm-hmm.
because like the soda workshop one, for instance, when I announced new dates, I did basically like a recap of what my last soda workshop was like.
Mm-hmm.
I shared, um, I shared some photos from that workshop
Okay.
of, the group. It's got the people in
No.
it.
Mm-hmm.
It's got some finished work. It's got like quick recap, takeaways, new workshop dates are on the calendar, and then they can sign up for a workshop like right then.
Right.
And then it's got some snippets of photos from that workshop. So it's kind of like I'm telling a story about it, and it's got
Yeah.
all the cool imagery. And so I try to kind of build that story in that, like, this is what you can expect from the
Right.
workshop, rather than just saying, hey, we got new dates.
And it sold out.
Yeah,
So it worked.
it worked.
And it goes back to our theory we were talking about earlier about the updates, right?
Yeah,
Selling
you
them
got to
more.
put, yeah, I mean, when I'm actually enjoying writing the emails, it is nice to,
Yeah. Yeah.
it shows.
Right.
So it sounds like but would you like, how would you cross pollinate the bookkeeping and the soda, or would you cross pollinate everything? Like when I send out an email about my upcoming shows, would you send that to everybody? Because right now I only send it to everybody except the bookkeeping or the soda workshop people.
Um, for a show, like an in-person show?
Yeah, it's like, hey, I've got my spring events coming up. Here's my
Right.
next 6 shows.
Well, I mean, assuming that the Soda Fire participants are local, I don't think,
Semi-local, yeah. Some
right,
might be 5 hours away or whatnot, but I could be
right.
in a city semi near them.
Right. So I think I don't think that would be a bad idea because if they want to take a soda fire workshop, they're interested in pottery, right?
Yeah. I would say they're probably more interested in the education and the technique, but it might be nice. They might be willing to support seeing my work in person and buying
Right,
soda
right,
work in person, which
right.
actually I haven't historically at the workshops. I haven't actually put my work out.
Ryan.
We look at it. We look at it to see what the results look like, but I'm not like hard selling people on like, here's my work. If you want to buy it while you're here,
Right.
you can. I
Okay.
generally just put it out there because I don't want to like sell people on more stuff, but
Okay.
I feel like I could.
Yeah, you could. And since you're not doing that, then I think that if you're emailing about your spring events, then definitely include them.
So send it to the general list
Yeah,
plus soda,
right.
but leave off the bookkeeping people because they could be
Yeah,
global. They could be
right.
anywhere,
Yeah.
honestly.
I would leave off the bookkeeping people. Yeah.
Okay. Are you
But
gonna?
if you're going to write an email about Wheel Talk, I would include the bookkeeping people because you talk a lot about that sort of thing in the
Hmm.
podcast, right?
I do put. Yeah. I mean, I do like people that sign up for the bookkeeping workshop, for instance. When I do the little, I don't think I put it in the email when I tell them, hey, I've got a bookkeeping workshop coming up. But I do put it when they actually sign up and they paid, and I send them the recording and I say, here's the recording, here's some other tutorial videos that might be helpful. And
Oh, there.
also, if you're interested in topics like this, we talk about them on the podcast, and I put a link
Oh,
to Wheel
okay.
Talk Podcast. I put that, but they already have to have done the workshop, got the recording. Like
Okay.
it's in that part.
That makes sense.
I'm
Yeah.
not actively like talking about it when they're just um like
Signing up.
a potential
Right.
buyer.
Right. That makes sense. Yeah. That makes sense. I think that works.
Okay, but the Wheel Talk, sending that to basically everybody, sounds
Yes.
like that should be an everybody thing.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know. It's like for me, it's like a fine line of the.
I would just warn them though that there is adult language.
Okay. Explicit.
Yes. Explicit language.
I think I'd probably so I don't know about you, but I've been relying on ChatGPT for a lot of different things these days. Just
I do
putting it
not.
like for this podcast, for instance, I asked ChatGPT. So one thing it does when we finish the recording,
Uh-huh.
Zoom will do a little summary. It'll do an AI summary of what we talked about.
Oh, okay.
I could also put in like, hey, we answered some questions or whatever. And then it'll give me a summary and I'll put it into ChatGPT and be like, can you spice up this description a little bit? Or I'll write a draft and then I'll say, can you make this a little bit, you could say shorter, longer, whatever. And then I'll help it say, okay, once I settle on the description, I'll say, can you give me 10 suggested titles for the episode?
Oh.
And I'll help it'll help me come up with titles that are good for the episode. But like for instance, for this, I would probably say, hey, I want to talk about Wheel Talk Podcast to my email list. Can you help me draft an email?
Mm-hmm.
And it'll help me kind of sift through some of that. So I'm not feeling like I'm staring at a blank page and
Right.
starting from scratch. But also, I got to figure out like what sounds like me, but is also not a computer.
Right. No, I'm
Um,
not. I don't really use Chat GPT. I tried once and I was like, why does it make me sound like I'm in a romance novel?
well, you could be like, that sounds too fancy. Can you make it sound more
Yeah.
human
No, I
or
was just
whatever?
like,
Yeah.
I think it's read too many romance novels.
Yeah. Well, so a lot of it has to do with the prompts and stuff. Like, what are you asking for? And you could be like a little more descriptive or less descriptive
Right.
or like make it sound like so and so or whatever.
Right.
But one thing I actually signed up for an email list today, and I don't know if you've ran into this, but email lists that do double opt-ins. Do you know what that is?
Yes.
Would you have you done that, or for people that don't know, how would you explain that?
A double opt-in is when you go to a website and you enter your email address and then they send you an email address and there's a link in the email that you have to click on to actually become an email subscriber.
Yeah, there you go. So it's not going to actually put you in their email list until that happens.
Right.
Yeah.
I think people do that because they get a lot of spam.
Oh, like there's spam bots that are going to their email and
Yeah.
signing up.
Because I think Liz had to do that.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I signed up for one today that had it happen, and I was like, oh, that's like, and I was actually kind of researching it a little bit of like why people do it. I think it also helps with likelihood of emails landing in people's inboxes. It at least shows
Oh.
a little bit more confirmation that people actually want to hear from you.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm guessing maybe your email has a little bit of it knows that if you've engaged with an email address, it knows that you're actually like it's not spam,
That makes
maybe.
sense because like sometimes I get emails in my promotions folder on Gmail and sometimes I don't, and I don't understand why.
Yeah. I would suspect some of it is your email account, let's say it's Gmail, is trying to interpret what kind of category that email would fall into based on the subject line, the
Oh,
contents
okay.
of the email,
That makes
and
sense.
it's doing its best. Because let's say you make an email that says shop now,
Right.
is it going to drop that in the promotions folder? I would suspect it probably would.
Right. Yeah. So no, I don't have double opt-in, but what you're saying does make sense.
Yeah, so I was talking about more likely to not land in spam, more likely to um like if you're worried about your thresholds of how many subscribers you have,
Oh, right.
maybe you could um keep that number in a more reasonable area because you make people double opt in.
Right.
Um
So you're gonna switch to double opt-in?
I don't think so. I was thinking about it in two different scenarios. I was kind of thinking about it for pot swap
Oh,
because we need to know that people's emails are actually accurate. If they
that
don't
makes sense.
double opt in, then we can't be confident that the emails are actually going to land in their inbox.
Right.
So that's one area. And then separately, I was thinking about it for our Clay Alliance, the Clay Guild that I'm a part of, that but it's kind of double opt in, but it's kind of like we want people to add to their profile. We're thinking about maybe sending postcards for this event that we have coming up, and we're
Oh,
going to do a
okay.
save the date. Hey, save the date. This event's coming up. And then I wanted to do a CTA that said a call to action for people that don't. I don't know if you know what CTA, but call to action button. A button that just says, send me a postcard.
Mm-hmm.
And then they update their profile with their shipping address. And then we take that to actually mail them a physical postcard because we used to do that. We haven't done that anymore. In our list of addresses, when you kind of like emails, if you send it out to a bunch of them, you're wasting money if they come back to you. So,
Right. Right.
I mean, for emails, it's not that costly, but for physical mail, it's going to be costly with
Yeah.
the cost
Yeah.
of stamps and stuff. So, we're thinking about doing that. That's not exactly double opt in, but it's at least showing people are committed to wanting
Right.
more
Right.
information.
I think both of those circumstances make a lot of sense for that.
Yeah. But I'm not at a threshold of I need to like control how many people are subscribing and stuff.
Right.
I was gonna look at what my contact list. It says 905 email subscribers. I
Oh,
didn't
that's not
realize it.
bad.
I didn't realize it was that big.
Yeah.
So I need to. So I don't know. I'm thinking of the PDF for the mug shelf
No, I
situation.
like that. Yeah.
Maybe going that route. Um, because I mean they could read the blog post and it's all there. They just can't
Right.
download the PDF. And then I'm
Right.
like, what if I went a step further and just said you have to subscribe to my mailing list to get the actual guide? And I'm like, do I want to go there or do I just want to keep it publicly accessible? Because I get a lot of views on that
Oh,
because I
right.
post it every week, and I'm like, am I kind of hiding it behind a?
So
I don't
wait,
know.
every time you post the video on Monday, you post a link to the PDF?
I don't post a link, but I have a link in my bio that says, I built it building a mug shelf on the cheap. It's like one of my
Oh,
most clicked on. It's clicked on way more than my. I think it's clicked on more than my shop actually.
well, can't you just change that to a listing? The link? Can't you just change the link? Or no, because it's on Etsy.
I could change well, the blog post is on my website. I could make it a website listing to say download, kind of like what Katie Miller does, and do
Right.
the download a PDF or whatever,
Yeah.
and just do it a digital download. That's a good idea.
Yeah.
Because right now it's not
That's what I would do.
anything that is. I was trying to see how much it's actually clicked. It's clicked a lot.
Well, I feel like it would be because people are always posting, like, I made my mug shelf based off of Ryan's plan.
Yeah. So that one has in the last, let's see, what is this? 30 days? 30 days. I think it's 30. Oh, it says lifetime clicks. Okay, my shop online's got more, but it says almost 400 lifetime click, or this link has been clicked. Okay, that's in the last week. 20 2,400 times.
In the last week?
No, 300 400 times. That says lifetime clicks. I don't think that's right. This says
Oh.
lifetime clicks 386, but that's not right because it says this link is getting clicks. This link has been clicked 2,368 times. And then it wants me to upgrade to Pro to actually see more details, but I don't want to do that. It's clicked a lot. Weekly trend is down. It's clicked a lot of times. So yeah, I think maybe the PDF would be a good idea.
Yeah.
And then I think maybe advanced version in the future probably do. Have you heard of like drip campaigns or
Yes.
nurture campaigns? Which for people that aren't familiar with that, it's basically when let's say people sign up for the first time, you have an automation built in where let's say MailChimp is going to automatically send an email or, immediately when they sign up, or 7 days after they sign up, or 14 days after. So you kind of just already have a set of emails that is automatically going to go out. So maybe there's an email that says, "Did you know I have a podcast?" And that gets
Oh,
sent
yeah.
14 days after. Or, "Are you curious if I have any work available? You can always go to my shop and see what's available. I tend to like to have, or did you know that I do in-person events or whatever? Did you know
Right.
I wholesale my work?" So I don't know. There's so many areas here that you could go with emails.
Yeah. There's a lot.
Never enough time.
I think you just have to start, right?
Yeah.
Start. Yeah.
Whew.
Yeah.
All right. We got homework.
Yeah. All
I'm
right.
tired. I'm sure you're tired.
I am. I'm like melting.
All right. Thanks everybody for listening.
Yeah, thanks.
Any last words? Thank you, Heidi, for joining me.
Yeah, thanks.
This was fun.
Yeah, I learned a lot. I'm excited. I
Yeah.
have homework. Yay.
Yeah, there we go. All right.
All right.
Folks, get your email list going.
Yes.
Let us know what you think. If you want to shout us out, thank Heidi for being here. We would appreciate that. And you can find her at Bella Joy Pottery on
Right.
Instagram. Sign up for her email list. See what her emails look like.
That's
Sign up for
right.
mine too, so you can see
Yeah.
what my emails
Sign
look
for
like.
both.
Yeah. All right. Thanks everybody for listening, and we'll catch you next time.
Bye.
All right. Bye. Hey, everybody. Thanks for listening to another episode of Wheel Talk. This podcast is made possible through the contributions of all of our listeners who always ask us great questions, leave us reviews, and contact with us through social media. Thanks to all the fellow makers as well who take time to be interviewed and share about their lives and businesses.
And thank you to Ashley from Boldover Ceramics and Lindy from Lindy Garner Ceramics for their assistance on the Wheel Talk Podcast Instagram. You are invaluable. Thank you to everybody.